And here's the American response.
With my swagger, hop in that whip, yo, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious. I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry, that's always on. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night, cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot, cause we ballin' this platinum Patron every hour.
All right, good morning, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those videos. Oh, it is Monday, and it looks like I got the Iranian war happening portion correct, and I couldn't have asked for a better outcome than what we've had so far. I know there's a lot of headlines that worry about oil disruptions and natural gas disruptions and Iran, China entering the war front, whatever it is. There's always noise, but essentially, what we've seen this weekend is the start of the Iranian people being free and us righting a wrong that Jimmy Carter made 47 years ago, actually probably 48. So I'm very excited to see these people freed. I think geopolitically, it's going to have ramifications that will last for decades. It will not be over in an instant. There's a long road ahead. Iran is a much bigger country than Iraq was. And again, there's a heavy population here of Islamic terrorists. They just make up the vast minority of the people that live in Iran. So this is not the Iraq and Afghanistan war. I don't know how many times I have to explain this to people. And everybody, good morning in chat, by the way, for everybody that's here nice and early as usual. JT, Manny, you guys are awesome. History Guy Scalps, what's up? But yeah, it's not Iraq. It's not Afghanistan. In Iraq and Afghanistan, you had, well, in Iraq, you specifically had Saddam Hussein, who was a tyrant who used chemical weapons on his people. But he was also fighting back radical Islam, and the second he was gone, that was able to come forth. And Afghanistan has been brewing that for a very long time, and all of this has been funded mostly in part by Iran. This is the country we've been fighting for 47 years. So many people have been killed because of this. So many Americans have been taken hostage because of this. So many horrific things would have happened, and I would argue that September 11th wouldn't have happened for the people that are old enough to remember that. And it's going to be done soon, and that's the part I'm excited about and focused on. I also love this. We're going to be talking a lot about the Iran war today, guys. In case you don't know this, that is what is driving the market right now. But this is absolutely beautiful. We have Pete Hegseth hanging up a picture outside the Pentagon wall. Let's just look at this real quick. This is real, I think.
There we go.
I think this is real. You guys tell me if this isn't real. I think this actually happened. I mean, maybe it's a joke. It looks real to me. And it came from his account, so I don't know. It's either good AI slop or it's real. Let me see what else we got in chat here. Look at how little Bitcoin has moved this weekend. I think the hype is more than. Oh, dude, I think Bitcoin has done surprisingly well. If you look in the bottom right corner, we touched up against 67 yesterday after dropping. When you look at what has happened with this Iran war. And don't get me wrong, oil's up. Like, let's look at all this stuff real quick here. Gold was up. Gold has actually got a pretty good monthly close. So does silver. I still think it's going to be the demise of both of them. We do have Fundstrat, too, who was talking today. I haven't looked at oil in a long time. You can kind of see the color coding here for resistance areas and support areas and the strength of them. Something I used to do a while ago. You can see how we bounced off here at the low. And again, we're way up here. This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing considering what happened. Now, don't get me wrong. Could this go up even higher? Trump says we could have 1 to 2 weeks of intense bombardment. I think that's what they're prepared for. He also said that it's ahead of schedule and it's going well. That's what he told Joe on CNBC this morning. And we also had Tom Lee talking on CNBC this morning, and he said that he thinks that March is going to end up, and I tend to agree. We've got oil, again, it popped, but being up 8% is nothing. I think we could bottom today, Alex. I really do. Whether it's today or whether it's within a week, I don't really care. We are down further. I'm probably going to be doing some more buying today, even though I'm running out of cash. I am getting low, honestly. I bought a lot on Friday. I'm going to probably buy more SoFi and Hood today. But this is nothing. An 8% pop is nothing. Could it go higher? Could it even get up to 92 if this drags on for the week and get close to 100? It totally could. But I think it'll be incredibly short-lived, again, that's one of the reasons why you're seeing this timid response. You guys have to realize this isn't even one of the top 25 times that we've seen an oil increase. Like the largest, that's a weird way of wording it. The largest oil increases by percentage, this doesn't even make the top 25. So if you can have World War III attacking Iran, a nation of 90 million people, that is the exports 90% of their oil to China, and one of the largest oil producers on earth, and I think the third or fourth largest stockpile of oil. Actually, they might be the top. I think these guys are number one. You guys in chat, let me know if I'm wrong. and only have oil go up by 8% is remarkable. JT says April 2025 was much worse, don't you think? Yeah, totally, dude. The tariff tantrum was much worse than anything we're seeing right now. I 100% agree with that. What we're seeing right now is a cakewalk in comparison. And again, we should probably look at a bunch of things. Let's look at the heat map. Let's look at where all the levels are for fear and greed, all that kind of stuff. We've got pre-market here. You can see how energy and minerals are doing well. You can see Palantir doing well. LMT, it looks like you got some defense-related stocks and energy. That's everything that's doing well. Everything else is in red. But honestly, this is just not bad. Again, we already dropped so much on Friday from speculation that everything was going to come to an end. So it isn't that bad. Trueflation, 0.79% inflation is the latest read from Trueflation. That's insane. I don't know why. I don't know. I know I pay for the full version of this, but I can't figure out what login is for it. So I'm going to have to figure that out and work out the billing for it. But Trueflation, 0.79, beautifully low. Fear and Greed Index, this is like one of the longest times in history that we've been at this low of level for this period of time. We only had one brief reprieve. Really, it's probably like 2021 and the end of 2022 when the bear market where we had depths like this. And this is one of the steepest drops in Bitcoin's history. So remember that, because when things drop hard, they usually pop hard too. And again, if we look over here, I'm just going to reject this. If we look over here, we can see extreme fear and greed still at extreme levels for crypto. And again, we had that on the alternative as well. That's even lower. And then the stock fear and greed index is in fear. So everything has been compressed and coiled for a while. We also, guys, last week, let me show this. Since I'm only here on Mondays, let me just show. God, I hate the way they do this. Previous week, okay. If we scroll down here, I just want to talk to this because I think it just got glossed over. I heard nobody talking about this last week, but ignore the PPI. That's all garbage. That doesn't mean shit. We don't care about PPI. CPI is what matters. PPI, guys, I'll go over some charts probably with this. PPI, the bulk of the cost with that was like margin expense for trading accounts. So you can't be worried about inflation if it's all people levered up in margin to trade. That's just not how inflation works. So again, ignore the PPI data. It was no big deal. One of the things that I love in here, though, from Friday was the Chicago PMI, which nobody talked about, but this is February data, and we had the highest reading on the Chicago PMI going back to May of 2022. All of 2023, 2024, 2025, this is literally 3.5, almost 4 years of data. And 3.5 plus years ago was the last time we were doing this well. I would hope people would understand that a little bit and get the ramifications of that. You know, this is something I haven't looked at in a while. Let's check out the CME Fed Watch tool. A lot of craziness going on. I'm curious. March is probably unchanged. Yeah, March is only like less than 5%. Let's look at April. April is low too. All right, so the growth from Friday maybe set this off even more. And if they calculate the PPI with any weight in this, that is absolutely fucking asinine. But I do expect this next week to see this go down further. Let's real quickly. Let me see if I got Fundstrat over here. I might have to. Nope. Okay, cool. I don't have to log in. Sweet. Let me pull this up. I'm probably going to move some camera around too. Pull up my angle a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's just look over here and see what we have from Fundstrat, see if there's anything new. We do have earnings. Let's just take a look here and see what he says. And we don't try to show this stuff too much, but we do every once in a while. All right, so the 480 companies that have reported so far, 96% of the S&P, so we're almost done with earnings. Overall, 75% are beating estimates, and of those that are beating, they're up by 5%, 25% missing, negative 4% for the ones that are missing. Top line overall results are beating estimates by a median of 4% and missing by a median of negative 3%. This is good. This is good. I won't go into all the details of it, but let me look. Let me go back, and we'll see what other videos we might have. And again, I know Tom talked on CNBC. I might be able to pull that video up. If you guys have a link, let me know. Let's see here. We got Friday, and then we got Sean Farrell Friday. Yeah, so they've been very quiet on the FS Insight front, and probably rightfully so. They probably shouldn't say a lot right now because they're trying to assess what's happening. So that probably makes sense. All right, let's keep going. I won't go through all of these, but there's massive support that's coming from the Iranian people, and there's some beautiful Iranian women out there. And I think it's really good PR to have these beautiful women talking about wanting to be free and talking about what life is really like under the Iranian regime. I think this is a turning point for the West. These people want to be Western, and they've been oppressed forever by an Islamic regime, and this is a good turning point for these people to wake up the rest of the world, in the West especially, and let them know that we can't go down this road and that we have to fight this fight. And I think that's amazing. And again, there's no end of beautiful Iranian women. Persian women are probably some of the most beautiful women on earth. So plenty of them celebrating the death of this man. And then you got hot girls from Cuba also asking Trump, when will you, por favor, when will you bomb the shit out of us? And so we got countries lining up right now, guys, to find out when they can get on the list to have their regime overthrown. That's so fucking amazing. Let's see, what do we got here from you guys in chat? I got to get caught up in chat. We need to talk. If you guys have questions or concerns too, let me know. I do have some good charts that we'll be going over in a second here that talk about how this is going to impact China, and how really all of this is to impact China. That's why we took out Maduro first and Venezuela, and that's why I gave the sequence of events that I did, taking out Venezuela, taking out Iran, taking out Cuba, and then taking out Russia. And Russia will just be the end of the war. Putin's already signaling that he's on board with that. But the reason why I was voicing this particular order is because it makes sense for us to take out Maduro first and establish that oil supply as our own, even though production, I don't even know if it's back past 500,000 barrels a day right now, but we already are the biggest oil producer in the world. We'll be looking at charts like that too. But with that, and then us grabbing that extra oil supply and taking it away from China, it's a strategic move that made a ton of sense. And now we're doing that same thing with Iran. Between Iran and Venezuela, I want to say they take up like 25% of the source, maybe 30, it might be 25 to 29. We'll look in a sec, of the oil supply that comes into China. So now we've got China by the balls. And I know everybody's going to be like, but they do solar and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they do. They've got massive solar farms. It makes up 7% of their energy. So coal is like 55. And then oil is like 19%. And then comes natural gas. And we have natural gas and oil by the balls right now with these guys. That makes up like 30% of their energy production, or I should say consumption. So very, very important stuff. And then when you look where their coal comes from Indonesia, it comes from Australia. It comes from places where we can cut it off if they were to invade Taiwan, which is fucking awesome too. So we have these guys by the balls. We'll talk about that, a lot of that in a second. Let's listen to my boy Tom Lee though. Yeah, okay, so this was from this morning. This is the one I watched. This is perfect. let's take a listen here and listen to Tom Lee talking about what he thinks markets are going to do.
Part of me, Scott, just thinks this has just been a tough February, and it makes people feel like it's a bear market, and we're down 1% for the month. I think March is going to be a turnaround month.
This actually, I don't think it's from today, but I'll see if I can find that one too. This is probably Friday or over the weekend.
For the better. I don't think the economy's slowing. In fact,
all right, bye, Kirby.
If you look at
Have a good
things
day.
like rejection rates for trucking, it actually points to the economy
totally central.
probably accelerating. So I think if there is a growth scare, it's really just more of a risk premium than it is companies actually delivering news that would scare you about the economy.
And that's why I want to buy SoFi and Hood so bad today. I own all these other things, and I need to update my portfolio, guys. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to take out the dollar amounts because I feel like that's an unfair promise that I can't really keep. 2022 was great. I made 600%. I'm down like over 50% from there. But I'm really well positioned now. And the part I'm going to focus on going forward is going to be the portfolio allocations and updating it once a week. I think that's what I should be doing. So that's what I'm going to work on this week. I said I was going to have it done by Sunday, but I threw my back out doing some birthday stuff with my daughter at some bouncy place. I didn't even really bounce, which is the sad part. But I'm taking ibuprofen and I'm icing up, so hopefully it'll get better. But what I want to do is really focus on the portfolio allocations, answering questions that you guys have, being really good on macro, which I've been excellent at. And again, I think, guys, you tell me in chat, but I think I've been pretty fucking good at macro. Now, I've sucked on some individual stock plays, but I'm getting more refined with that. But really what I want to do is I want to keep you guys abreast of what's going on, and I want to really focus on the portfolio allocation and you guys understanding where I'm sitting. History Guy Scalps. Jesse, have you changed your opinion on metals? No, I think they closed the month stronger than I thought they would. So let's go to that, actually. That's a good segue. We'll go to that first, and then we'll talk about other stuff. So if you look over here on gold, I was saying that we had to get above this rising wedge, and it had to maintain support. It really did that. It did that quite well. So it established support. Then it hit this other area where it had a resistance line, just 2 points, not a lot to work with. And then it broke out. And so if anything, I mean, right now, this is like, this is something that it looks like it will try and go higher. And I do think that can happen. I think what could end up happening is something like, I don't know if it looks like this in the end. Sometimes these wedges will like touch the bottom, spread it a little bit, and then come back up, and then they'll really form what they look like. So it's hard to know exactly where. But this could be a double top. It could go a little bit higher. But the thing you have to remember is if we get back up to here, it's like a $37 trillion market cap. I think 40, depending on how you're weighing it, because there's paper gold and real gold, and then there's discrepancies on everything because it's not like it's on a ledger. Wouldn't that be convenient? That would actually probably be a better store of value if we had a ledger that let us know exactly what the market cap was, and we had some kind of precise new supply defined that gets smaller every 4 years. That sounds like a better system. But metals have done well. Anybody who's been in metals deserves their reward. They deserve to be up hundreds of % on gold and even more so on silver. But this will come to a peak. Both of them will come to a peak. It's inevitable. And silver doesn't look as good. So let's look at a few other metals. So again, gold looking good, right? Gold is getting close to a daily high over here. But what happened if the war this week, if a couple, we already have Iran. We've decapitated everybody in Iran. We need to get to all that news. The entire senior leadership team, going down about 50 to 100 people now, is gone. Just gone. Wiped off the face of the fucking earth. They took out most of the news stations, hijacked them, and then we're playing messages from Netanyahu and Donald Trump to let them know that we're overthrowing the regime and this is their opportunity, and to stay abreast of messages and what they need to do next. And we killed the leader of the country. We're right now decapitating all of their police stations where we know that they abuse people, because we sent messages to them last week via text saying, here is how you can securely communicate with our intelligence apparatus in the United States to feed us tips so that we can help destroy your regime, and in case you want to help in that process. This is how we can best do it with you being safe. These are major things. Like, this is not Israel was planning this attack for over 2 months. And so this isn't a small like thing that's going on where we just over the weekend decided to, attack Iran. We've got it's very calculated, and we're doing a great job. We'll go over all that today. Silver is still down 22% almost from its peak. So silver doesn't look as good. It looks, again, it's not a horrible bounce. And if we look at the monthly, that's probably the most telling. This isn't a bad way to start off a candle. The previous month over here looks good, right? This looks good. You have kind of a continuation, but you have this oscillation because you had a massive wick going down over here. So this is probably a point of consolidation for the rest of the month. Here's the thing, though. If there's no momentum behind gold and silver, if they haven't even broken their previous highs, it's going to be real fucking hard for them to do anything substantive. Right now, I would argue that the risk to reward is way better, not in precious metals, but if you own a lot of them and if you made a bunch of money, again, kick ass. You've crushed me. I've been going down. You've been going up. You're fucking smart. You did a great job. But I posted a video about this from a silver bug who loves silver, who's been in silver for decades. Like one of these people, right? That was, bag holding for the last several decades. And he said, silver is a great hedge, but I worry about the people that have entered silver now thinking that this is an opportunity for them to make money off of America's decline or off of a global war or whatever, because they are the bag holders right now. The volumes are huge. And I think that he was talking about silver and gold. He sold all of his silver, or 80% of it, I think it was. He said that, like, hey, I love this trade. I think in a year or two or more, it'll be the trade. But right now, you have to be insane to think that retail isn't in this trade. And you don't want to be in the trade when retail is in the trade fully. Like when all Reddit is talking about are precious metals. That is the sign, okay? That's the sign that you're in that if you're playing a game where of elimination, that is the sign that the ticker is like that little clock that you have going is just right at the end and it's getting ready to explode. And you do not want to be heavily invested in something thinking that it's a hedge when it's getting ready to explode, because good news happens. You don't want that. Not right now. This would be the worst timing possible for that. All right, let me keep reading. Expecting this to last actively 2 to 4 weeks. Then a lot depends on what happens. I don't even think it's going to make it that long, bro. I don't think it's going to make it that long. I appreciate the comment, but I really don't. And let me see. I'm going to run down here real quick. Let me see. What else do you guys have? I think we see a rally in crypto during March that's going to crush or catch a lot of people. I agree, Alex. Kirby can't listen live. Yep, he took off. We miss you, Kirby. Talk to you later, bro. Oh, and my brother has a birthday today. Nathan, I love you. Happy birthday. Let me see here. That's timely last Friday. Yes. Jesse, have you changed your opinion on metals? Oh, we talked about that. Central, do some yoga for your back. I know I've been starting to. I actually love yoga with Adrian. She's so chill. That's one I've started to listen to. I don't do it enough though. You're right. I need to do it more. History Guy Scalps. I love GDXW, 1% dividend per week in capital gains. I think something like STRC is sick. You guys let me know when we get the drop on the number of Bitcoin bought by MicroStrategy today. I mean, STRC is giving you 11%, guys. 11%. But that's a good one. I just don't. What is GDXW? It sounds familiar. I don't know it though. I won't pretend to understand something I don't know. Apathy 79. Thoughts on MSTR at 129. I think it's cheap, dude. It's so cheap. We'll pull that up real quick. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We need to get through these news things. I'm gonna have to do that fast. I think it's stupid cheap, but it was cheaper down here before the premium really kicked off. End of January. It was better then, right? We're still up, guys. Isn't that crazy? Like, look at how much we were down to, like $105, $104 maybe. And now this thing with this war kicking off is 129. This is amazing. STRC up 11.5. STRC is just sick, dude. I tell you this, is I make a bunch of money this year, and I'm going to make a bunch of money. I know it. Of course, I said that last year. But anyway, it's happening this time. But I'm going to make a bunch of money. And when that happens, one of the things that I'll do for cash will definitely be STRC. I have enough faith and Michael Saylor. I've followed this man since he was a bear and making fun of Bitcoin and talking shit about it until he understood it and then wholly embraced it and then realized that he's going to be able to create a bank off of it that dwarfs every other bank on earth. So I love STRC. It is over 300. Let's see here. Let me update some numbers. It is over 321% to get back to its previous high. I think for a company that is as great as this company and one that could be the largest bank on earth in the future, I think it would be crazy not to own a piece of it. My 2 cents. Let's see here. JT, if you guys could hit the like, there's 400 people here now. It would be greatly appreciated. I do still try to work hard for you guys, even with my back hurting, even with life going on, even with markets not being great for a year. I'm still here trying to deliver as much as I can. I don't think your long wars are a thing anymore, at least with the current. They aren't actually. China couldn't last that long. They need shipping. They need shipping. If they can't ship through Indonesia and the South China Sea to the rest of the world, everything stops. Vast amounts of their energy stop. If they're not getting it from Australia and Indonesia, 70% of their energy just turns off. And their food supplies, massive amounts, they can't make it 30 fucking days. So before we had this world where they could just literally put all their ships around and blockade Taiwan and they would win the war on time. But they had a vulnerability, and that was the fact that they didn't have food, and they've been trying to build out the energy like crazy. Again, we'll look at that chart, and I'm actually going to do that now. We need to get into some of these things. So we're going to scroll down and just look. We're going to roll through a lot here, guys. We're going to skip the rest of what Tom Lee said since that was Friday. Mario Nawfal, U.S.-Israeli missiles have struck the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Central Intelligence Building in Mahabad, Iran, causing massive destruction. This was 57 minutes ago. We're hitting every place, guys. Israeli army announced it will hit infrastructure linked to Al-Kahar and Al-Hassan Association in various parts of Lebanon. So they're cleaning up Hezbollah to the north, and then they're wiping out all the intelligence agencies and police areas within Iran because they've hit all the main targets already. I think, honestly, within a couple of days, about 48 hours, I think that Iran literally won't have a navy and air force, or 99%, maybe it's 95% of their ballistic missile systems will be dead. If they use them. If they don't use them, then they'll sit a little bit longer because they can hide if we don't know where they are. But I think most of it's going to be gone. And that's amazing. That's amazing. So, yeah, short wars. Short wars, I don't think people realize how short wars. All right, let's look. I wanted to show this picture. So this is back. These are liberals back in the day doing their thing, all the communists. Later on, they decided that they did want war, but that was after Russia had been drawn into it. Hitler has not attacked us. Why attack Hitler? Why not peace with Hitler? Can you guys in chat tell me why not peace with Hitler? The same asshole, blue-haired fucking assholes, liberals who talk about us being fascists all the time, literally wanted to not attack a fascist. And fascism is basically like communism, guys. It's just what Mussolini decided to use because Italy needed a different narrative. So let's not pretend like they're different from each other. Fascists and communists are the same people. They are brethren. They are bedfellows. It's the same fucking thing. All right. Anyway, off my high horse. Let's keep going, and I'll try and look at more. This is another hot Iranian telling it like it is. There's so much truth in this. You got to hear it. It's 20 seconds.
What are you doing here?
Protesting what the difference between free Palestine, whatever that is, and free Iran is. Police. We love the police.
We love the police.
We love security. We love America. We love Iran. We hate Islam, and we hate terrorists.
Yes.
And we don't know what Palestine is because it doesn't exist.
And we don't know what Palestine is because it doesn't exist. I love these people. Another hot girl from Iran. All right, let's see. History Guy Scalps. They're going to have try and block the strait. They can't block it. I watch a guy that has the channel. It's like what's going on in shipping. We'll figure all that out. The only thing that keeps people from going through the strait is insurance. That's the big thing. It's all about insurance. If you can't get your ship insured, you don't go through the strait. First off, I think in the next 1 to 2 days, there's a bunch of backlog there. I think we're going to have an agreement where the Iranians are going to at least want to regroup, and they're going to say, we won't shoot any ships in the strait. Please just fucking stop. Please just fucking stop. And we'll let ships pass. And I think we'll do that temporarily. And then I think the strait will reopen in fairly short order. I would think the next 1 to 2 weeks, because what we'll do is the United States will probably just insure the ships and allow them to pass. And then it'll only be whether or not the ship's captain is worried about whether or not they're going to get attacked and whether or not they want to go through the strait. I'm willing to bet they're going to be offered really big bonuses. If the U.S. backs the insurance, I can imagine really big bonuses coming into any captain who gets their shit across there. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. We don't hate legacy media enough. Yes, sir, Victor. That is very, very true. Here's one of the... This is an amazing drone ship, guys. This is an amazing drone ship from Iran that you got to worry about. It's going to kill us. Oh, wait. No. I'm sorry. It's sinking. It's sinking to the bottom of the ocean. That's what's happening to it. Quentin says, here is the hopium you ordered, sir. And I actually think there's truth to this. I don't know if it goes that high. I really don't. We could just go to 200,000 or something. 150. If you want to be really safe, guys, you can get out around that 145 to 150 range. I think this year and do quite well, or at least dial back and take some profits. But I think we're going back up. I'm definitely trading that way and investing that way. Strategy acquired 3,000 Bitcoin. That is fucking awesome. I'm trying to read here. Wait, do you know, RHX, do you know how it was acquired? Is it STRC? Was it equity too? Like, how did they get it? I'm going to keep rolling through here. So there were a bunch of Pakistani protesters that were killed. These are live rounds. The Pakistani government does not, or I should say security forces, they don't mess around, man. They're beating the shit out of people, killing them. I don't know if it's us. I'm actually a little confused about it's us. The Pakistani embassy, I'll show you something later. Bunch of people got killed. I won't show you that part. Wink, wink. But yeah, a bunch got, and I don't know if it was the Marines or if it was the Pakistani security forces. I'm a little fuzzy on that. I think the official messaging is Pakistani security forces. Victor, Sailor also released last week in a European STRC. I know, I saw that. That's just fucking great. More liquidity. This is important. In-game macro was talking about this. So Saudi Aramco's facility was hit. The thing I wanted to make sure that you understand here is it was hit and they already cleaned it up. This fire was put out. It is not disrupting their services, just out of an abundance of caution because they don't want the entire fucking thing to get blown up. I think they're shutting this bitch down for a day or two when they get kind of an all clear or some messaging from the United States indicating that it's going to be okay. In-game macro talks about how it's the world's largest oil producer, one of the largest market cap companies on earth. I think NVIDIA passed it. Maybe a few others in the States have now too. Maintains the maximum sustainable production capacity of around 12 million per day of crude oil. This is all true. But again, the market isn't that worried about it right now, or we wouldn't be where we are. He does say in here, like gold rose, but prices quickly moderated as Saudi Arabia restored output within weeks using spare. So this is talking about previous occurrence in September of 2019 and saying that, hey, this could be something like that where gold or where oil shot up a lot over a short period of time. But then it moderated and just drifted back down to where it was. I agree with that. I think that's what's happening. Breaking, the Pentagon confirms that 3 American F-15Es. So the only people that could shoot down the American planes were Americans, evidently, or at least Kuwait military equipment that is from America and our allies. So we shot down our own planes. Everybody's okay, though. As far as I know, I think they all bailed out. Chat, confirm that if you would. Victor Hernandez, Sailor, also released. Oh, that was the last one. Okay. What, are there any other chats that I missed? Can you look at Copper play? I just entered LM in it. Yeah. Hit me up later on it. Copper is looking, I think, good in the near-term future here. It's down this morning because it's looked as more of America's doing good play. If you look over here a few minutes ago, Israeli Air Force fighter jets completely struck a ballistic missile storage facility. So again, they're just losing more capacity. This is this guy right here is shooting into the American embassy in Pakistan. That does not end well. I'll show you guys that video. That is intense, man. Crypto. Whales are buying Bitcoin like never seen before. Something big is coming. I agree with this, man. I agree with this, and I agree with this too. The U.S. dollar isn't even backed by anything. Yes, it is. If you can't see what it's backed by, we're backed by the largest oil producer in the world, us, by far. The largest natural gas producer on Earth, us, by far. And a military that's fucking insane. And everybody uses our currency. So, I mean, we're backed by a lot right now, guys. Would you rather buy 2 cybercabs or take out a loan and buy a Tesla stock for the same amount? Tesla stock. Victor Hernandez, hey Jesse, what do you think would be the spark for BTC to shoot up? Peace, Clarity Act. I mean, it's all of them. It's all of them. The Clarity Act is going to be a good one. Again, they were shooting for some kind of agreement right now that has not happened yet, but I think that's coming this month. We'll have an agreement with Iran. Otherwise, there won't be anybody to agree with. It'll just be piles of dust. So that's happening too. And that leads to peace. And that's not the only thing going on. There's a lot of other stuff going on. We're still buying back $200 billion in mortgage bonds to try and pull those rates down. Today, the 10-year is popping, but its days are numbered. This thing's going down. It's going down. It's just people think that war's happening. It's like a back test of previous support. This is probably nearing the peak of it, and then this thing's just going to keep rolling over. And people laugh at me, but it's getting to the 3% range. It will do that. Real quickly, let's keep going here. Cybercads could be a good cash flow business. They could be. But I also think they're going to be massively diluted immediately. Just like Bitcoin mining, you're going to end up, there's going to be a lot of competition because if you tell your neighbor that you're making $50,000 a year from your cybercab, they're going to want one too. And so the market, the demand going into Tesla will be extreme. It will be extreme. It'll be more than they can handle, and they'll have to raise the prices a lot. Because once people really get that messaging, it's going to get crazy. I just wanted to show you guys this. I know nobody cares anymore because we memory hole everything that hasn't happened for a couple of weeks. But this is the way the Hennepin County, Minnesota Sheriff's deputies are handling things outside of the ICE facilities. This is not ICE. This is Minnesota. And this is Hennepin County. This is Minneapolis. Okay, these are the guys. Look at how they're handling protesters, anti-ICE protesters nowadays. I mean, I'm just going to say they don't give a fuck. Can you imagine if ICE was doing this? It'd be all over the news. Nobody gives a fuck anymore, guys. So remember this. I want you to remember this because this is key. Narratives come and go, but you have to find reality within them. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares. Imagine how much people don't care come election time, especially if we freed Iran, if the Russia-Ukraine war is over. Cuba is free and Venezuela is free. And that's my prediction. That's my fucking prediction. I'm going to throw it out. I told you guys Venezuela was getting attacked first. I told you guys next would be Iran. I told you that Maduro was going to fall quickly. And then I also told you that Iran was going to happen, and it was going to be easier than people realized. And I would argue it has been. And next, Cuba, then Russia. The whole fucking thing's coming down. That's my prediction. And hold me to it. All right, let's keep going. We got crazy footage, 1 minute of continuous strikes. Let's listen. So this is Tehran today. This is 4 hours ago.
هیچکی هم تو خونه‌های همه در رفتن. اومد دیدی؟
We're not fucking around. We're not fucking around. What commodities we buy? Come on. I just want to say, guys, people don't realize how powerful America is. I just don't think they know. I don't think they know. Can you imagine this? Like, imagine this being Chicago. Imagine this. It's actually bigger. Imagine like New York or something. Imagine seeing this.
What?
Oh, it's not done yet.
What?
Imagine this. Be pretty scary, wouldn't it? These things are mountains. Look at all this shit. This is us.
از اینجا میاد از اینجا.
Here comes another one. Boom. This is us.
برو
This is the power that we wield, and this isn't even all of it, guys. There are talk of crazy things, discombobulators in the strait that are causing GPS to be off, and also, and on a Chinese ship, you can see this. It's even been community noted. But the Chinese are messaging that it's throwing off GPS and time. Clocks aren't working and all this stuff. They're all out of sync. But it's actually happening on a Chinese ship, which is the funny part. They showed it from their ship. There's so much to talk about. Cybercabs will be commoditized. Yes, exactly. Yes. Takumaso. Takumasohi. 4708. Yes, cybercabs will literally be commoditized. It'll happen so quickly. People, it'll just, yeah, people will be like, I bought all these cybercabs and whoa, wait a second. How much is it going for now? How much is a ride? But it'll be great for people, right? If you're in a metro, it's going to be the best fucking thing ever because you'll have Tesla putting out some of their cabs. Then you'll have other people putting theirs onto the network too. Travel expenses within metros are going to plummet. They're going to absolutely plummet. We're going to need less parking lots too. It's going to be so crazy. Breaking. Liberals are fleeing the United States. Staggering amount going to the UK. I love this. I would encourage everybody who's a liberal to move to wherever you want. Okay, just get the fuck out. That sounds great. Jan, Venezuela supplies maybe 3 to 4% of China's imported. Okay, I want you to hear this. Actually, this is only 2 minutes. Keep in mind, Gordon Chang absolutely hates China or the CCP. He actually loves China. He hates the CCP. So he's very, very biased. Outside of that, though, these are pretty much the facts.
The thing about Xi Jinping is he knows what Trump is doing, but he can't stop him.
Yep.
So tell me more about what he knows what Trump is doing. And because I don't think everybody knows what Trump is doing. I don't think everybody's clear on that.
Well, the narrative is that Trump is sort of gone soft on China, and on certain things he has. But if you look, for instance, at the national security strategy,
he might talk softly and say, China's our friend, because that's the message we want to get out there, right? Oh, I've got a very good relationship with Xi Jinping. I mean, maybe. It's probably not that great. I mean, he does want to murder us, right? And take over the world. But you say those things and telegraph that the whole time. It doesn't mean that we're going easy on them. We're obviously not going easy on them. Come on, Gordon. You're saying it. You just have to hear it.
It's very clear that China is a high priority. It may not be the number one priority, which is the Western Hemisphere, but if you look through that short document, it's clear that China is foremost in President Trump's mind.
Yes.
So, for instance,
the number one.
Towards the end of it, it talks about how the United States must not allow any hostile power, the phrase that it uses, to either close off the South China Sea or impose tolls on traffic over or on the South China Sea.
Yep.
Well, there's only one country that fits that description, that has that ambition and has that power. So that's true when you look through the entire document.
We can.
I believe that President Trump is going after the Chinese, and he's not doing it directly. But he is doing it indirectly, and he's cutting off their sources of support.
Oh, it's going to be a fun open. I'm going to stick around for open, guys. We're going to have
Venezuela supplies maybe 3 to 4% of China's imported oil. But Iran was somewhere between 15 and 23%, depending on the year. And that's important because when you put those two numbers together, you get a significant portion of China's imported oil has now been taken off the board. Yeah. President Trump may allow the Venezuelans to sell oil to China, but not at the heavily discounted rates that China was benefiting from. And Chinese factories are now dependent.
So Saudi Arabia has joined the fight with us, the United Arab Emirates and Dubai. And you're going to see something about a Dubai politician says that America has abandoned us. Fuck all that. They told us not to be in their fucking country. The prince is our friend. He is Trump's personal friend, and we're good. And so I should say with Saudi Arabia. With all of it, though, we have with the United Arab Emirates, all of it, we're protecting the assets where we were going to be attacking from, which was Israel and the United States of America. And we got, at their request, we left our military bases and agreed, hey, we won't launch from here. We won't try and do things that impact you. It is Iran that is deciding to try and draw them in. And almost all these countries are like, fuck Iran. We're going to assist the United States now with this war. That only helps accelerate things for our side. And again, we picked off Maduro because we wanted to be able to have an oil supply that was right next to us, that was heavy crude, something we don't have enough of, that we would have direct access to and that we could choke off from China. Soon we'll be able to do that with Iran too, because we'll be heavily involved in it. This is some of the top leaders that have been killed, all these people. We have hearing confirms American taxpayers are funding terrorists. We had a terrorist thing happen in Austin, Texas. There may be others too, but for sure in Austin, Texas, which is sad. A guy shot up a bar and killed a bunch of people. But you can see we're helping fund the Taliban, Shabab, Hamza Network, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, another version of Hezbollah, and Hayat al-Qadr in Syria. So we're funding all these terrorist organizations. This is testimony in front of the Congress. We shouldn't be doing that. And I asked Ursula von der Slut if she was excited about trying to type up an email this week, since they're going to be getting together today at some point and figuring out how to solve what's happening in Iran. Thank you, von der Slut. Over here, Neo Berg said that's a Basiji terrorist building where they oppress Iranian people, or at least it was. So these are the secondary sites that we're starting to target now. There'll be more of that. You can see from 5 hours ago, here's verified footage of the fire at Saudi Aramco, whatever. That's not a big deal. They cleaned that up. Israel hitting a bunch of missile launchers. Iranian missile hitting Hamadan in Iran, so they're hitting themselves. But look at their missiles, dude. It's just fucking, look at this path. This thing is so broken. Just let's blow up our own cities. Here is them hitting Dubai, or UAE. I'm not sure exactly where this is. It looks like Dubai to me. I don't know it well enough, but it looks like Dubai. Again, just hitting little things. Keir Starmer, guys, now said that we can use his island. We're probably just going to take that from that motherfucker at some point. And now Emmanuel Macron and all these other douchebags. Actually, the German chancellor, I don't know, you guys from Germany, tell me if this is right. It looks like he's really saying maybe we shouldn't be like poking our allies and attacking them, and instead we should be working with them, especially when they're doing things that we cannot on our own. Very excited about that. All IRGC bases in Sanadan are getting blown up. This is crazy. If you guys know how to pronounce these things, help me out. And again, this is Western Iran, but look at these explosions. We're hitting everything. Here's a Democrat saying, I don't support Trump, but I 100% support him freeing Iran. Let's listen real quickly. Probably won't go too long on this one.
Good morning. I guess you're waking up exactly
NVIDIA's
like
cheap.
I am, learning that the United States is at war with Iran.
All right, I don't like her voice. Going down, History Guy Scalps, the world has never seen a wild card like President Trump, who will keep his word down at timelines even. Yes, red lines he keeps, timelines he keeps, and he finishes the job so that something doesn't turn into a forever war. They'll have a chance. They need to take it. Yes, I think they're learning that. I think all these nations are learning that. Again, shooting a bunch of missiles off. IRGC killed more than 1,000 Americans over the last 47 years. We are going to take care of them now. Oh, this is it. Okay, so this is actually, and so let's read this here. It's confirmed Trump wasn't lying. Chinese crew members have verified that the U.S. really does have a super weapon capable of making the other side completely lose signal. A large Chinese vessel right in the Strait of Hormuz suddenly lost all signal. The operating ship experienced a total GPS blackout in the video. The Chinese crew openly vents their frustration in Chinese, griping that the clock is racing back. the clock is racing ahead way too fast. He even says outright that this might be tied to the escalating U.S.-Iran conflict. News reports confirm the incident was caused by electronic interference, with suspicions that the U.S. used GPS jamming to disrupt. This would be amazing because there's a GPS that China uses that is their own network. And so if we're doing this, and here's the community note, video shows timing and positioning data errors ahead aboard the Chinese vessel, demonstrating that the Chinese ship is in fact quite affected despite claims of immunity. So there's a bunch of posts going around saying that they're immune to this, that China was letting their people know they're immune to this. This was on a Chinese ship. They were not immune to it. We have the ability to be able to basically take all these Chinese surveillance ships that are hanging out in Iran and make it to where they ain't surveilling shit. I put China can just watch from the sidelines. It's true, right? Hey, you guys let me know when China enters the fight, okay? Somebody let me know. Let me know when they did over the summer, when Israel and the U.S. were blowing up Iran and took out over 50% of their ballistic missile systems and almost all their aircraft. And you guys, outside of drones, and you guys let me know what China did about that. Let me know what China did about Venezuela. Let me know what China's doing about Cuba. Let me know what China's doing, basically working both sides of the war between Russia and Ukraine and pissing off both of them. You guys let me know when China starts taking over. I am very interested. So somebody please message me right away when China lets you know that they're ruling the world. That's the Saudi Aramco again. Again, UK, France, and Germany are useless allies. They don't have any assets that could even be effective in Iran because they don't invest in their own militaries. All they do is issue press releases. Breaking: UK and France and Germany say they're ready to take defensive action against Iran. Oh my God, guys, they're ready. The weekend is over. They're ready. The Iron Beam system was used for the first time, guys. This is Laser is the company supplier. This was used against Lebanese rockets. This is pretty fucking cool. You can't hear it here, but just watch these shots and see them taking out these missiles. It's ultra short range, but it's very effective and did a wonderful job. Again, these are all missile systems we can use. I think this press release is tied to the war that's happening right now with Iran. Listen to this. This is amazing. Jesse, would you mind wishing my wife, Tina, a happy birthday? Highly appreciated. She loves listening together with me. Yes, happy birthday, Tina. I hope you're having a great day. All right, so with Starlink, this is a hell of a press release. Now, don't confuse this with Star Shield, something else that Starlink does for the U.S. military. Starlink's mobile next-gen satellites will deliver 5G speeds from space with 100x the data density of the current Gen 1 satellites. 100x data density. This is crazy. Like, this is so much bandwidth. V2 satellites will seamlessly enable streaming, internet browsing, high-speed apps, and voice calls, just like being connected via terrestrial networks. That statement, nobody would have believed 10 years ago. Nobody would have believed that, even 5 years ago. But here we are. Mossad posted, "We hope that the attack was worth it for Hezbollah because we just took out 15 senior Hezbollah leaders." This is not to be confused with the ones they took out earlier. All right, awesome. Awesome. Thanks, RH. So again, these guys are just dropping like flies. They appointed a new Ayatollah, guys. I'm pretty sure he's dead. I don't have final confirmation, but I think he's dead. And the market is starting down today. I think all that's perfectly normal. I think that's okay. Palantir's doing good, though, up 4%. And defense stocks in general are doing well. All my other defense stocks are up today. I haven't checked ONDS. Is that up? Up 4.5%. RCAT. Red Cat is up 8.3%. Kraken today is up, I guess Kraken's down 1.77, but that one's had a great run. So I think it's just rotating into the other defense stocks. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The new bad guys, here's what happens, Sean. Here's what happens. Just imagine you're in that list, okay? And everybody's died. You've watched hundreds of people that are in higher positions from you die over the last 8-9 months. If you've done that and they're like, hey, you've been promoted, you're the leader now, is there a chance you're going to go, Hey, Trump, how you doing, man? I just wanted to say, I want to live. Whatever you want, you already have the deal. So whatever it is, you name it, add 10%. You can have the whole fucking country. I don't care. I want to live. I want my family to live. If you can make that happen, you win. Somebody's coming up with that. It's just a matter of time. That's how human beings work. We have a massive... You're going to reach some guy who doesn't actually believe he's going to get 72 virgins, and he's going to go, nah, I want to live. Just to be safe. Just to be safe. Look, again, Iranians doing the Trump dance while waving American flags. Fucking awesome. I love this. Look at this. Israel, Iran, and America. That is going to be a powerhouse heading into the next century. Newly appointed interim supreme leader Ayatollah Arafi has reportedly been killed in an airstrike. Yes, they all do look the same. But there's a bunch of people going across the Afghanistanian border that have shaved all their beards, taken their little headscarves off, and they're just trying to get the fuck out of Dodge before they die. Shield, SHLD, a defense ETF, may be a good spot to park cash. Can't imagine defense stocks are not grinding. It's probably a good hedge. I don't know if it's like where I'd want to put all my money, but you're right. It's probably a good hedge. And again, cash can be that too. It all depends on what you do and your strategies. Need Iranian people to take over the government. I don't know that happens quickly and easily, but I do think that, again, between decapitating the leadership and making all the oppressive forces go away, whether it be local security, whatever it be, the more we do that, the better it's going to get. We got Cubans asking Trump to bomb Cuba. Oh, wait, no, it's not that. It got community noted. That makes me sad. That was a good one. But we have the hot girl that did it, and that's what matters. Luke Hart, when do you think this all blows over for the Gulf states? I think really quickly. I think really 48 hours, I think, is what I'm saying. It might be faster than that, but I think that we're going to get peace at some point, no matter what. And then I think this is going to be really old, boring news by the end of the week. I know that sounds insane because it's like, oh, war with Iran. Nobody's going to care by the end of the week. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be things that happen and flare-ups that occur. But the news cycle, we're going to memory hole this shit. Or, I mean, other people will. I won't. But they're going to memory hole it super quickly. Our military is unbelievable. I think if you paid attention to what they can do, you'll realize that it's because China is a paper tiger. It's because Russia is a paper tiger. Just think about the sequence of events, guys. Russia invaded Ukraine because Biden was a fucking moron who wasn't even coherent. Probably was stage 3 cancer about that time. Maybe stage 4. Stage 3 probably. He probably would have been dead if he was stage 4 by that time. And he was dying. And he's like, let's get out of Afghanistan. And we've got Americans dying. We got people falling off fucking planes. We're leaving behind billions of dollars in military equipment. And Russia saw that and China saw that. And they're like, this is our opportunity. These guys are fucking pathetic. They can't do shit. We have destroyed the West. It worked. It worked. Let's go ahead and get going. Hey, China, Xi, we're going to go ahead and invade Ukraine. We just wanted to let you know, okay? No. Don't do that. Don't do that, says Xi Jinping. Wait until after the Olympics are done. We're hosting them. We've got the Olympics right next to a bunch of power plants, but we only show the part that looks pretty. It's going to be great. We'll finish that up, and when we do, invade Ukraine. And they're like, okay, we'll do that. The Olympics end, immediately invade Ukraine. 3-day war turns into over 4 years now. 4 years. And Russia has proven that they are capable of nothing. They can't even take Ukraine because of us, because of Palantir, because of America. And that was the one thing I think Biden did right, was defending Ukraine. But, I mean, not at our expense. Jesus. At least Trump knows how to make some money. But I do think they're worth defending, and I think you have to stop Russia from advancing too much. Even though, again, I do think we poked the bear. I think we brought Russia into this. I don't think any of this had to happen. We just could have signed agreements where Ukraine wouldn't be involved in NATO and that we wouldn't expand past it. But that's what we were trying to do. But that showed, so we had the weakness in Afghanistan that showed that we were weak. These guys buddied up, and then I'm sure China said, dude, once you guys take Ukraine, let us know, because then you guys keep them busy over there. We're going to go ahead and take Taiwan. But then Putin or Xi started to find out that, wow, Putin is really fucking pathetic. Dude, they don't even have like coats for their military people. They're using them like sheep to the slaughter, but they're not gaining any ground, and they can't even beat this little nation that's getting helped by the United States mostly and in Europe. And they realize, maybe we should wait on Ukraine or wait on Taiwan a little bit longer. And then Trump came in, and everything has changed. It's completely different. I won't rehash all of it, but obviously we're winning now, and our military is amazing, and China can't do shit about it because all of their air defense systems and all of their defense systems, guys, are in Iran, were in Venezuela, especially Iran. Iran had more advanced ones. And we just were raping and pillaging like there's nothing that matters. The only jets getting shot down that are American are ones that we're shooting down accidentally. That's how fucking good our military is. And again, just China expresses deep shock, issues statement. Stop this, please. We condemn America's bully. Blah. Suck a dick. Throwback Iran. Holy shit. Tonight, Israel destroyed half the police stations in Tehran. So it's hard to bring people to the central place of oppression if it doesn't exist. So we're preparing. We're softening up. We're preparing the transition, whether they choose it or not. The high-end government officials, whether they want to die or not for their 72 virgins, we're preparing for the fact that these people will be free without us putting boots on the ground. Israel, on the other hand, has pulled up 100,000 reservists. I don't know how much they'll go into Iran, but I think it's possible. The Persians freed the Jews. Okay, Cyrus the Great. The Persians freed the Jews, and now the Jews will free the Persians. It's poetic in nature that America that helped get them in this situation, and that Israel, somebody who owes them a debt of gratitude, are the ones freeing Persia and everybody else that is in there. We've never had 7 months of red. Somebody's like, but we're in the 6th month. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I knew that when I put it up. I didn't know how many people would actually catch it, but it's nice to see that some do. So we are in the 6th month. So what I'm saying here is that could it be a down month? Yes, but can you wait a month? Can you wait 1 month? Because once that happens, I think America is going to be in a much better situation. I think it's coming by the day. My convictions only went up. If I looked at this war, if you would have asked me what I thought, how quickly this war would be going, I wouldn't have told you that we would have Khamenei dead within 36 hours of starting the war. I never would have thought that. And all the senior leadership, I think we're up to almost 100 senior leadership officials, including all of the top 50. That's pretty amazing. This is a reminder. Barack Obama, one of the last things he did was ship a plane full of cash, almost $2 billion to Iran to help stock them up to create this. If there's a man that deserves to be in prison someday, it's probably Barack Obama, and I voted for him twice. So when I say that, I mean it. Disregard reports of new large wave of Israeli attacks. They are so bright that Tehran looked like it was daytime most of last night. Shoot, I want to pop in BTC so bad, so tired of XFUD. I actually think it's doing really good. I mean, look in the bottom right corner, man. We have spent a month where we are right now. It hasn't done anything. There's been some compression in the multipliers. They've gotten hit harder, but that's to be expected. This is a big deal. We'll skip that. This is just, again, Trump talking about what he's going to do. We ain't fucking around. We're not stopping. 100,000 Israeli troops. I don't know if you guys know this. So many people in this world don't seem to understand how brown, and in some cases black, like up here, Israelis are. Everybody's like, oh, Israelis, white people, gotta hate them. We got like orange-haired motherfuckers. We got like black-looking people. We got like a guy who kind of looks white over here and over here, and then everybody in between. This is Israel. Israel is the prime example of a mixed culture environment. I don't know why people don't know that. Again, just blowing up a bunch of shit. A lot of it is Israel. I don't think people realize that either. All the Tucker Carlsons of the world, don't seem to realize that Israel is doing all the work, or a lot of it. Not that we aren't doing our part, but they're doing a lot of it. And they're the ones taking a decent amount of abuse. Let's see. We got more to talk about, so I'm going to try and get through this. This is a police station in Iran, or an intelligence location in Iran. Again, strategically just destroyed. Air defense systems intercept Iranian missiles over Kuwait. Look at this. This is pretty crazy. Boom, boom. You can just hear all the stuff going off. Oh, that was that laser gun. These are protests in Bahrain, throwing Molotov cocktails. These are the bad guys. This is what we're fighting against. And people celebrating, even dogs. Talking to the dog. This is what it looks like in Tehran. It's like, again, it's daytime. Let's keep going down. This is what I don't think people realize how, like, I love Iran is so not Iraq. These are the Iranian kids right here, okay?
These young Iranians live under one of the most oppressive governments in the world.
This is in their school. They put the American flag so that people will have to step on it to show disrespect to America. Because, again, you hear these death to America and Israel and everybody else in the West. But this is what the Iranian kids, this is what their future, the Iranian children care more about America than the fucking Western children do. If you put this flag in the United States, people would probably step on it right and left in a school with the same age children. These kids love us. We have to free them.
Where speaking out can cost you your freedom or your life, yet even under that tyranny, they show more respect for the American flag than many students on our own campuses do today.
So again, I want to see these guys taken out. This is the asshole. That's the piece of shit that he's dying. That shot up this bar in Austin, Texas last night.
Oh my God! What is going on?
There's police running in right now.
Jesus fucking Christ! What the fuck?
So there would be a lot more people dead if the police wouldn't have gotten there immediately during the attack, which is awesome. So thank you guys. Just again, tons of missiles, so many bombs. There's just a lot of history that I think people need to know about. You just got to do some research before you have an opinion on Iran. Make sure you understand it. Bitcoin's seeing some downside pressure. I think all that stuff's good. I think the markets start off low and then bounce. JSUS, why is the Israeli flag the only flag illegal to burn in the United States? I don't know. I don't care. Victor Hernandez, shut. Is that even true? Can somebody grok that? I love this right here. This is a climate activist for AOC, just realizing that it's all bullshit. I won't spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to keep going. We got so much to get through. I love Farzad. Farzad has been so happy lately. We've disagreed on other things politically, but I think he's coming a lot more around to my view. And I don't think I've come around to any of his. I think he's leaned a lot closer this direction. But, I mean, he's a very thoughtful guy. He's very trying to be a centrist. But he said he's from Iran. Iran now has a chance to become one of the most prolific, advanced, and rich countries in the world. Iranians are young, smart, hungry, and insanely hardworking. One of the greatest rises in human history is about to happen. Feeling unbelievably optimistic. Me too, brother. Without the Save America Act, the future will not look like the Jetsons, says Mike Lee. I agree. Trump said, again, could last 4 weeks. It's not going to be that long. The vast majority and the hardest work is being done right now. Craig Fuller, big guy in shipping, that's why he's got all this stuff over here, says, I do believe the more dominance we show in the war, the less likely the Chinese risk of a kinetic war is with the United States. I agree with that. Don't miss the forest from the trees. Again, this is just a nice little trend line showing that we're kind of in the bottom spectrum of what we trend between the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows. So don't get out thinking that you're doing something special just to miss the ride. Double bottom there. I think it could be, man. I think it could be. I mean, we haven't even touched the 200 moving average yet. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, that 59.60 range could be a great one. I would still be super bullish. This is such a bullish pattern, guys. I want to show you just the shorter timeline here. This is bullish. This formation here, just the way this is such a bull flag. Let me flip. Let me invert real quick here. This is a topping pattern. This is something you do not want to see. I inverted it right now, so we're upside down, but this is something you do not want to see. You don't want to see this slow crawl up where you're losing momentum because it's going to roll over and test the other way. So this is a good thing. Oh, did I not invert? I auto-fitted. Okay. Let me go there. So yeah, this is a good thing. I think this is a good thing, and I think people don't realize it, but you should be happy that Bitcoin is forming this pattern right now. It's definitely great. Again, Palantir and Claude, I won't talk about all of it. Palantir is definitely being used in the war. Claude is too. It's going to take 6 months to transition off of Claude to what I hope is Grok or something like it. Thank you to the almost 600 people that are here. If you guys could do me a common courtesy and hit the like button. Again, we already saw this with Gordon Chang. My buddy Hassan Sajwani from the United Arab Emirates says, thank you, Elon. Elon put, no country is perfect, but Dubai and UAE broadly are objectively safer and better run than many areas of Europe. He is right. And this came off of a comment from Pavel Durov. This is the Russian who created Telegram. Unfortunately, I had to leave Dubai for a week in Europe. So I'm not only missing the free fireworks from Iran, but also exposing myself to greater risk given Europe's high crime rates. So he's not worried about the bombs dropping in Dubai. He's worried about the crime rates in Europe. Isn't that funny? Again, just this poor lady was stabbed to death by somebody who should be in fucking prison. We need to fix this stuff. I don't care about Keir Starmer. He's a cunt. Dave Rubin, Iran bombed a Palestinian hospital. How ironic is that? There's others of that too. Open fire with a pistol. Yeah, so again, there's a bunch of people that died from this. We'll show you that in a little bit. Here we go. Goldman estimates the following effects of the fair value of oil prices for different scenarios. Again, right now, they're saying $4 a barrel for a partial 50% 1 month closure. So the reaction on oil is too high based upon this metric alone. So you should see that come down. Maybe not right away today, but it will. And again, you can see how we popped really high and then started to fade that. We're probably somewhere up around here now with oil price, but it's not going to last long. It doesn't matter. Oil prices are fungible. The biggest loser for Hormuz closure in terms of actual physical oil is China, which is the main destination for 13.1 million barrels of oil that passes through the strait every day. So 90% of it goes to China. And it's cheap, but it's not anymore. I wanted to post off of this, guys. This is Nicholas Gibbs. He had a good post too. But there's this Elon Musk one where he shows this chart. And again, it is the electricity generation is just skyrocketing. But I think people are confused as to how it's skyrocketing. And I don't know if Elon Musk does a good job of this, but Nicholas Gibbs had a good post here. Sorry, my back is killing me. He said, another way to look at this, China has 10,000 terawatt total, 7,000 roughly kilowatt hours per person. The U.S. has 4,000 total terawatt total, or 11,460 per person. China has 4x the people, but America uses 60% more electricity each. We aren't actually behind, but that doesn't mean we should be complacent. I 100% agree with that. We aren't behind. I just don't want people getting the narrative that we're super far behind on electricity generation. We aren't behind. We have more per person, 60% more per person, but we need to pick it up. I also wanted people, this is from Grok. I didn't say that. Nobody liked it. It only got 12 likes. I said, yes, China also uses a lot of non-renewables. People never visualize that for some reason. It's pretty shocking compared to most people's expectations. 55% of energy consumption is coal, and this is the largest number of plants that they're building. 19% is oil, 9% is gas. 8%, the big dams, this is all they're getting here. Nuclear is only 2. I know we're talking about their 38 nuclear reactors coming online. And yes, their pace of energy generation right now is far outpacing us, but we can fix that really quickly. And we have the initiatives to do it, and we're starting to push even harder. But wind and solar, guys, is only 7. I don't think people realize that. They look at their solar and are like, China's beating us. It's 7% of their energy. 7. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we should have that as a part of the makeup. China's also got horrific demographic issues. They're gone. And in 70 years, China's gone from the face of the earth. It's going to be pathetic. Tesla, 429 cybercabs. Love it. Yes, and destroying democracy. This is America Pact. Elon's says they're subverting the will of their own voters. The name of those who block the SAVE Act will go down in infamy. Yes. We need to bury these people. We need to get it approved. We will, too. I wanted to play this. This is an Iranian man. I don't think this son has ever lived in Iran. He's too young, but his paralyzed father has, and this is just such a beautiful thing. I'm only going to play the first minute and 50 seconds.
The Ayatollah Khamenei has officially been killed by the U.S. in assistance with Israel. Thank you, President Trump. I've believed in you from the start. I had the faith. I knew you could do it. I've got some beef with Netanyahu, but I do appreciate their assistance in this operation. I was raised to believe that it is indecent for a man to celebrate another man's death, no matter how evil. So I shall not celebrate Khamenei's death. For now, his name shall never be spoken of again. He is history. He is gone. But I'm at a loss for words, because guess what, guys? Never in my lifetime did I think I'd see a free Iran, even with all the fighting. And now, I get to take my paralyzed father home to his true home. The home he recognizes before those terrorist fucking monsters took over. My family there will be free. They can live their lives. For a man who's struggled to believe in God his whole life. Thank you, God. Thank you, all of you who have supported us. Without you, this would have never been possible. It was your views, your shares, your comments. God bless all of you. I love you all. Thank you.
He talks a bunch more there, but yeah, that's the gist of it. And this is a great one, too, talking about dual citizenship. This woman talking about her experience going to Iran and how horrific it was.
I did interact with any...
She was a young lady. She was a young lady getting a nose job in Iran, but whatever. She was doing that because it was cheap. And her nose does look okay. It looks a little crooked. I'll just point that out. But listen to what she has to say at the end. This is very crucial to understand.
I'm like, oh, baby, I'm home. Okay, I got a little bit off track with my storytelling there. This is not supposed to be a serious political, video. It was just kind of offering some insight on how my experience was when I went to Iran. And what I did want to say is every single person I did interact with in Iran was absolutely miserable by the hands of this government. The government oppresses the shit out of the citizens of Iran. And I just want to emphasize something to you. Most of the people in Iran are not religious. They are very anti-religion due to this government. I stand with the Iranian people. I wish for them to all be safe. And I hope this government gets shut down. I hope they should leave. They gotta go.
I just don't think people realize enough of what is happening in Iran and what the Iranian people are actually like. They're going to be one of our greatest allies, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. Asmi says, it's wild how many good people come out of these terrible countries. It shows how much government leadership makes. Dude, most people across most of the world are good people. There's just governments and Islamic radical people that are the worst right now. They're the worst people on earth. I mean, Islamic radicalism is caveman shit. These people are like they believe cavemen things, and they're barbarians. They're literally barbarians, and we should treat them as such. We should treat them like a dog. If you're willing to beat women, murder women, stone them to death because they embarrassed you in public or some shit, and you can rape little fucking kids, fuck you. You die. Anyway, Serenity. I wanted to talk about this. The U.S. and Trump just pulled off the most 500 IQ play in modern history. They disrupted Russian oil production inadvertently through Ukraine. I think that's the best thing Biden did, is by being a fool and being incompetent and letting American people die in Afghanistan upon our departure. He ended up doing the right thing in supporting Ukraine, which has weakened Russia, and it let us know how weak they are. Regime changed Venezuela. Now we're on to Trump, one of the proxies of China, Iran, and Russia. Toppled Iranian leadership, further isolating China and Russia. Venezuela and Iran, both number 1 and number 3 in the country and the world, latent oil capacity, now disrupted Iran and Venezuela from funneling Chinese Russia with access to cheap oil. So again, they were getting cheap oil, and it's gone. And let's just read the rest here. China now has a huge choke point from U.S. control over oil production and routing. Saudi and UAE, the other two suppliers to China and Russia, are more U.S. aligned, plus forces more dollar denomination. Yes, and they're not going to focus on BRICS. There's no fucking way. It doesn't even exist anymore. All the letters are disappearing. And all of this without getting into a direct conflict with China yet, and minimal U.S. casualties. Hardly any. A couple. 3 the last time I checked. Iran's scenario still unfolding, but toppling the leadership and command chain is a massive win. A lot of the narcotics and protesters' narratives are probably a smokescreen. They're disappearing, too. This is a short-term high-risk play from Trump. Again, there's Democrats that love this. The Waymo blocked emergency vehicles in Austin, Texas. Yep, and some people could have died from that. That's probably a nice lawsuit for Waymo, and it shows that Tesla is the only company that should be driving people around. Proven crude oil reserves. Just look at this, guys. Venezuela is number 1. So Venezuela was number 1. Saudi Arabia is 2. Iran is 3. We have military control essentially over Iraq right now, and the leadership is on our side. Iran is getting ready to flip. Saudi Arabia, literally the Prince of Saudi Arabia, is our BFF. We love him. And Venezuela is at the top. So all of this is us. The UAE just said, fuck Iran, and they are not loving China right now either. Kuwait is with the United States. All of these places, and then it's like Libya, United States, Nigeria, Kazakhstan. We have complete control over the oil sector. I just want to be clear. This is the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. They were trying to overthrow it. We introduced them to some flashbangs and probably some rubber bullets. I don't think they liked it. This guy got shot in the neck. Probably not going to make it. This is the way the Iranian people were treating the IRGC yesterday. Beating the shit out of them. Probably ending them would be my guess. You don't want to be in IRGC right now. You probably want to step away. This is Iran attacking Iraq. This just happened yesterday. They've been doing more today. There's been over 500 projectiles and weapons and bombs that were sent just to the United Arab Emirates. Just Dubai. This is a reporter. I love this story. There was a reporter that was told not to film this from CBS, and he literally in one of the video recordings, you can see him say, well, I am. So fuck you. It's just great. It's just great. Again, here's another trans kid that whatever medicine he's taking, we need to figure out what they're doing to these kids. I put Iran as not Iraq or Afghanistan. Wake the fuck up and learn some history. Jeff Lutz was giving some history. We started using the B-52s again this weekend. This is irony right here. This is a bunch of liberal leftists, communists saying no war on Iran, feminists versus fascists. Again, just ignorant as fuck. Just ignorant as fuck. Yeah, that's the shooting. Let's keep going down here. This is the German chancellor, guys. This is what I was talking about. Excerpt. Legal assessments under international law will achieve relatively little in this regard, and this applies to all the people largely remain without consequences. That is why now is not the moment to lecture our partners and allies. Despite all doubts, we share many of their goals without ourselves being able to actually achieve them. Amazing. Amazing. This is Palantir in a picture. I wonder why their stock is going up. And that's not even really all of it. These are the countries that have been attacked right here. It might even be higher than this now. 15 different countries. Not a good idea. This is not working out for them. This is Foucault, grandfather of woke. This is him with Iran. He basically creating the setup that's being acted out in New York City from Mamdani right now and what's happened to Iran in the past. He is that piece of shit. People should learn their history. People talking about soft war again now. They're starting. Cern Basher, who's brilliant, by the way. Yeah, he's starting to talk about how Bitcoin isn't just internet money. It might be a weapon and a form of defense. I agree. This is an Islamic terrorist that did the shooting. Doesn't look like he belongs here. My guess is he's probably South African. Maybe he's a part of the Shabab, whatever the fuck. I can't remember what division of Islamic terrorism they support in that region. Property of Allah. Get him the fuck out of our country. Zero hedge. China buys 90% of its Iranian crude at steep discounts. So this shows where the oil was going. And this is actually probably low. It mostly goes to China because it goes to other places and then that goes to China. United Arab Emirates possesses one of the world's most powerful defense systems. I mean, they do. The Patriots and the THAADs got a lot of it. They're Russian equipment. Some of this other stuff isn't doing much. The Israeli stuff's probably good. South Korea. There's a few, but listen to this. This is crazy. Their air defense today achieved a success rate of more than 96% in intercepting missiles after destroying 132 of 137, and more than 93% of intercepting drones after intercepting 195 out of 209, a total of 327 threats intercepted out of 346 with a success rate of around 95%. So they're not even as good as Israel, and they're not as good as what America will be. But again, they use a lot of the same systems, and they were able to take a lot of it out, which is great. And this guy is becoming more our friend by the day. So ignore what some of the politicians say in the UAE or other, like it's the powers that be that have all the control. Minus China military equipment, no good. No good. Iran was utilizing the Chinese surveillance radar, the same one that was used in Venezuela, the YLC-8B, which was dubbed the anti-stealth radar that had... this is what happens when you buy your shit off of Temu. Guys, if you don't want to see anything graphic, you need to turn away right now, okay? If you don't want to see anything graphic, and these are young people, so just remember, they're not well educated and not fighting for the right side of history, but it's still sad. This is in Pakistan. This is the U.S. embassy or consulate, I'm sorry. And these people were shooting into there, and that's when they started to receive fire. I don't know if it was the Marines or if the Pakistani security forces. I'm not sure. There's a guy shooting into there. This is war. This is what war looks like. This is what this wasn't even a lot of shots, right? There weren't even a lot of shots. It doesn't take much to destroy human beings. Okay? And I know this is brutal, but this is the reality of war. This is what happens. This is nothing in the grand scheme of war. This is just a small area where a couple of rounds went off, right? But this is what it looks like, and it's brutal, and it's fucking horrible. And this is why we have to be strong, so that we can prevent more of this around the world. And it's sad. It's sad, right? Like, these people were young. They're just kids, man. Like 20s and shit. It's just sad. But it's the reality. And it's because of weak men like these little bitches that we have things like this happening to begin with. BMNR added 51,000 ETH, now 3.71. Well, they still got to get to 5. So smash that like, so steak and eggs. What's up, brother? JT. Udi, that guy probably shot some of his own people. He probably did. Well, yeah, but the weapons that hit them are much bigger caliber. You saw the blood pouring out of that guy, dude. That's like half his body. Yeah, apathy. It just makes you realize what's at stake for us. Yeah, we have to, dude. You don't ever want to see this shit on American soil. You're going to see it on their soil before you see it here. It's probably, maybe it's Keir Starmer. It doesn't seem like it's going to be Germany. Germany seems to be turning around. I mean, they still got problems, but Germany seems like it's trying. Macron and Keir Starmer, that's where you have to worry about this. Can you cover PMI data at 9:45, 10 ISM? Yeah, we can talk about it now. Let me go back here real quick and look at what we have coming out today. So Monday, Fed Waller speech, Chicago, Fed National Activity Index, January and December though. And then orders for December at 9 o'clock, Factory orders ex transportation at 9 o'clock for December. And then, so the real big data is the Dallas Fed manufacturing. Oh, wait, this is old. This is last week. I went back to last week, motherfucker. All right, let's go. This week. Okay. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI for February, and all of it. The employment, the new orders. Ideally, so let's look at what we've seen already and then talk about the most ideal path. Last time, in January, we got a 59 for the actual. This is for prices paid. The consensus was 60.5 and the forecast was 59.9. So we came lower than expected. But if we look here, guys, if we dial out, this isn't crazy where we're sitting. This is going back 10 years. All of the late 2000s, we were kind of right around this level. 2021 to 2022, we were right around this level. And so I don't think prices paid is a real big deal, is what I'm trying to say. From a number of vantage points, but I don't think it's a big deal. But keep an eye on that. New orders, this is huge, right? This is the beginning of the funnel. We want to see new orders do well. In January, we got a 57.1. That was the highest number we'd seen since February of 2022, 4 years ago. 4 years. So it would be nice if that was the same or higher. But honestly, even if it was like 52, that would be a good number, and it would still show an upward trend. I would like to see that. Employment, I would like to see it rise and go up substantially. I mean, let's look here for January. We had a 48.1. That might not seem like a lot, but let's go back here. Let's see what we got for the 5-year. So for the 5-year, that is the best going back to January 2025. I'd love to get above like 50. If we did that, we'd start to go back to 2024. If we got up here to like, what is it? 51.4, that would be amazing, because then we'd be going back to timeframes we haven't seen since August of 2022. So I would love to see that for employment. Again, just another sign. New orders are ramping. Next thing to come through the funnel, probably going to be employees. We need to get employees in. And so I would see that happening too. And then again, the general number I'd like to see higher. This is what the general number was for ISM manufacturing. So if we look here, we can see that over the last 10 years, this was the highest number we had seen since August of 2022. These are beautiful numbers. It shows a reaccelerating economy. I think the combination of, if we can keep employment okay without going out of control, but still maybe rising a little bit, but not in a parabolic way, I think that will, in conjunction with all these strong numbers, be a really good thing. And just keeping general inflation down. If 0.76 is to be believed by Truflation, which I believe it is, I think that's a really great number. Here's Bill Ackman saying, now that it's all going well, Emmanuel Macron wants to claim credit for participating. I don't know. They might have had some ships. They didn't have like this group going there. Doge, congrats, contract update. I don't know why it got deleted. There was probably another updated version, but this is, we'll never allow a radical left woke company to dictate how our great companies or fight and win. This is talking about, I think, again, just the AI perspective and how we will use the technology that is available in our country to our benefit, and the companies that don't work with us will hurt. That could be pushed in a bad direction. I don't think it will be, but it's something to pay attention to. Godsad, one of my favorite Jews. There's a few on the list. I don't actually pay attention to who's Jewish and who's not. You can kind of tell, though, right? You can tell. He said, this is the top military person in Canada. Head of Canada's military, Jenny Carignan, promises to do her part by knitting socks for U.S. servicemen. I don't know if that's true, but I could believe it. All right, we're going to skip some of this. Intelligence, not sensors, that makes a self-driving car. I've been saying this forever. I keep saying you have to have a brain. This is that stupid fucking Waymo holding up emergency services for the shooting in Austin. You got to have a brain. If you don't have a brain, you can have all kinds of retarded fucking sensors and not help people. This is the stuff that was going around on Weibo. Iran eliminated Trump. Chinese air defense shot down U.S. jets. Chinese air defense shot down U.S. jets. Iran took over Tel Aviv. Iran nuked Washington. So this is the kind of misinformation they push in China. This is Goldie. I love Goldie. She's a sweetie. She's about as emotional as I am. She's probably got a better reason, though. She is Persian. This is not Iran. This is Kashmir, India, just talking about how India is going to have a problem with Islamic radicalism to worry about too. I'm proud that we're ramping up. Let's do more. U.S. battery storage capacity is booming in the United States. Look at California and Texas. You can see the rest of the areas are going up even quicker. California's topping off. Isn't that wild? Oh, my back. Trump unlocked the secret. He can do whatever he wants internationally as long as it's the weekend. No European works after 3 p.m., let alone Saturday or Sunday. That's so true. Again, Ursula von der Slut talking about how they will meet to start to figure out how to communicate what they want to do on Monday. 90% of the war will be done by the time they actually do something, and that'll just be a memo. BitPain, ATM going to pop off on Monday. Again, STRC crushing it. Did we figure out, guys, how much STRC? Was it all STRC for the 3,000 plus Bitcoin? This is Jesse Pelton. He's great for solar and energy. Again, he posts more pro-China stuff than I would like him to, but he's just posting on things that look cool, and they're very good with their propaganda. It's probably one of the only things outside of building out energy, stealing technology, and then they've got a really good political department that does a great job with propaganda. Their Department of Propaganda, literally named the Department of Propaganda, is probably one of the best on earth. But he put Texas can build, and it's building a lot of batteries. I love that. I hope EOS does a really good job. I'm just not going to be around for that ride. I'm going to be buying SoFi and Hood today because I think they're dirt cheap prices. And we'll look at those in a second. We'll do charts probably once we get all this done. And I'll try and stick around longer. We'll see. We've only got 20 minutes till open. I didn't realize how quickly it's going. I do need to figure out another show during the week. Harold Finch, the Chinese are pissing their pants right now on their very best day. The plan can generate maybe 1/3 of this. And this doesn't even include a U.S. strategic bomber sorties and possibly not from the aircraft from the USS Gerald Ford's Air Wing. The USA has completed 900 strikes in the first day of operation. That was us and Israel. California corruption. Look at this, guys. California's lost money. $32 billion for COVID relief payment fraud. $24 billion for unaccountable homeless relief. $18 billion for high-speed rail. Zero track laid. $2.5 billion for food stamp fraud. $650 million for 9/11 system that never worked, or 911 system that never worked. Chris Fryman, even if you think military spending is too high, it's important to recognize that far more of your tax dollars go to entitlement programs. If you look over here, major entitlement programs, a massively increasing share. National defense is lower. Look at this from the 50s, guys. Look at how much lower we spend as a percent of our funds on defense. People talk about it being a trillion, now 1.5 if you believe Trump's new number. Really nothing, a drop in the bucket. Compare these men to Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney, and Gavin Newsom. It's not comparable. NVIDIA, lowest forward PE and fastest EPS growth. Forward PE of 16.76. Here's the thing. I just think we're seeing PE compression in hardware. It's over a $4 trillion company. Even other companies like Micron are massively expensive. I think SanDisk is a half a billion or a $500 billion company. So some of these guys are probably going to have margin compression, but I do think they're still really good buys where they're at because it's not going to. There's definitely going to be buying some hardware at these cheap numbers, probably pretty good. I don't know though. I like software a little bit better. Software will get eaten up by AI, but there's tons of companies that are embracing AI that are going to benefit. It's not like just every company dies overnight. I hope people are not retarded enough to realize that. Micro to macro. Oh, that's me. I put both can be true. We should work towards solar and batteries, and we should also maintain massive dominance over natural gas and oil. What powered the world in 2024? It was coal. Look at this. Oil powered the majority of it. Coal, if you're China. Natural gas. Look at that. That's all of it, guys. Only 13.5% is left for nuclear, hydro, and renewables. So again, we need to look towards the future, but we are actually the biggest producer of oil and natural gas on the fucking planet. So that's cool. We also were able to find Iran's stockpiles of weapons. So we will blow them up, and that's what we did. Let's keep going down here. Look at this. UAE Ministry of Defense confirms, this is March 1st, shot down 541 drones, 2 cruise missiles, and 165 ballistic missile systems. That's huge. Let me keep going down. Turns out the people really like freedom. So again, X had its highest usage ever over the weekend. When people want to know what's going on in the world, this is the platform they go to. And when they want to find the truth and have an AI that's brilliant, they ask Grok. I put 30% of China's discounted oil supply could be cut off now between Venezuela and Iran. Again, 30%. You can see in here, crude exporters to China in October, Iran, for October, guys, of 2025 was 23.3%. Saudi Arabia, our buddy, the one who's our good friend, is 19.6. Iraq is 13.11. Military bases there. Russia's only 11. Oman is 7.7. They attacked Oman too. And then Venezuela is 6.9%. So again, we're talking 30% just controlled here and here. And that's not even including Saudi Arabia, our buddy, or our military bases in Iraq. We can cut off all of this supply, is what I want to make sure people understand. Everybody in this video is dead. All the leadership in this video are dead. All of them. Just dead. Just dead. Again, history, you should reacquaint yourself with it if you want to go through the lists of and years of all the times that these guys have hit us. They started this war. We're finishing it. More terrorist attacks. Yes, this is the inside of that one, guys, in Austin. You can imagine these poor people. We can't let this happen on our soil. What we're doing right now in Iran is going to stir up a hornet's nest, but it's going to awaken the American people to the fact that these are the threats that we have in our cities. This should not be allowed to happen in our cities. We should not be letting people die when they're just going out to have a night of fun. We shouldn't allow this, and we're not going to allow it. And it's sad that this is happening, but it's going to show the American people the truth. And the sooner we learn that, the better, because if we would learn that 5 years from now, the types of attacks we're looking at won't look this peaceful. They won't look this peaceful. I put, yes, the point of having Bitcoin is to ensure. Yeah, this is funny. So this right up here, I put signal, and it's got Bitcoin going parabolic in Iran. This is why you own Bitcoin. Because when the shit hits the fan, they're not going to let you take the gold out of the country. So if you believe America's failing, you're going to want to own this, right? And he put Jesse, but isn't it because their currency depreciates that almost nothing? If you look at other assets, it'll be the same. I mean, true, but this is the only digital one you can easily get out of the country and carry across without having to worry about the government being able to take control of your money, either through the banking system or physically confiscating it, right? So I put, yeah, that's the point of having Bitcoin, to ensure that you don't lose all your money if a government loses control of its finances or whatever. It just wants to confiscate all your money. This isn't what's coming for the United States. It's quite the opposite, actually. Let me see. Smash the like, JT, apathy. It just makes me realize what's at stake. Central said, can you go over? I did that. And then Hershey said, hey, Jesse, would you buy or sell defense stocks and oil at this point? I wouldn't do it today. I think that today is a day where it's great that you hold them. I'm happy with my defense stocks right now. If they keep going up a bunch, I might start selling out of them. And again, I don't think oil is going to last. If you had these as hedges and you don't have any cash, it might be a day to lighten the load of some of it. And because again, unless you think the war is going to significantly escalate, I'm telling you, everything I'm telling you is that it isn't. And I have much stronger conviction of my macro analysis than I have over what my stock picks were over the last year. I think my stock picks are really good now, though. I think getting out of EOS was like one of the last bad ones. I think a lot of the other stuff, I've either got small positions or I have a really great understanding of it, and it's got much more upside than down. I just wanted to point this out because this is kind of crazy in this post. These are the same signs. This is Venezuela, them protesting Venezuela. Now they've got new printed off signs for the war against Iran. They didn't even change the color and fonts of the signs for the most part. They just did the exact same thing over and over. Somebody joined as a member. Lehman 120. I'm not sure if that's Lehman Brothers or if that's their last name. Hot Iranian girls celebrating. It looks like they're going out for a good night on the town. I'd rather hang out with these guys than in a church with a bunch of Islamic bros. I tell you that. And more Persians celebrating. Let me see. I don't know if there's any. I love this, the little Shah thing, but like Obama, but Shah. Again, just massive explosions all across Iran. There's another chart I want to show you guys. Let me find it. Sorry, I'm kind of going down the line. This is basically the IRGC headquarters. This is the Central Intelligence Agencies, all that stuff. This is all going up. Look at this. Look at this. You can see the underground bunkers too. You see where there's so much smoke that starts popping out from these other areas they didn't target as their primary. That's bunker busters. And that means they hit something strong underneath. Here's an official statement in Arabic that says that the Iranian regime mistakenly bombed a school. So people are talking about they were trying to turn it into America or Israel or bombing kids again. It was there. You can see a rocket that shows that they took this post down. Actually, there's a bullshit post where it was fake. It looks like they took it down. So, and I was trying to tell them it was fake. I'm trying to see though. There's other good stuff in here I want to show you guys. Oh, right here. Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He's our buddy. He's a good guy. He might have murdered a news guy a long time ago, or at least his guys did, but I don't think he did. He's honestly, man, by Western standpoints, if you look at the Middle East and the way people can be, this is one of the best people you can be friends with. Private phone calls to President Trump over the past month advocating for U.S. action in Iran. So he was saying publicly to his people and to the world that he didn't want military equipment to be there. It is expensive, but it's also cheap for MU Micron. It's actually really cheap. We should look at that in a bit. But he was telling Trump to do it. So that's my point there. And here, guys, who is this? He fled Iran. Oh yeah, there's just a bunch. There's tons of examples of people that support this. I want to find something else though. Tons of bombs. There's so much shit that's happened. This is ironic. So this is a Palestinian neighborhood in Israel that got hit by an Iranian bomb. Again, just so much irony. This is the New York Times article saying Ayatollah Khomeini, hardline cleric who made Iran a regional power, is dead at 86. This is them doing a fake thing of the New York Times saying, hey, this is what they would have done for Hitler. Führer Adolf Hitler, dog-loving artist who made Germany a world power, is dead at 56. Again, these are some of the strikes, guys. They're just so powerful. This is wild. Here. This is in UAE. Watch this. Oh my God, it's a bomb. Watch this. Oh my God. Watch this. Right here.
It's bomb debris.
You saw it come in, here. Like one of the intercontinental ballistic missiles started to drop right near their house. And then they duck. Pretty scary. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Everybody's saying it's shut. It's not actually shut. There's still vessels going through it. It's all about insurance. I think we'll figure that out. And again, we'll let at least everybody over that needs to. The Belgians are stealing Russian Shadow Fleet ships now. So again, we're strangulating Russia still. Iran hitting Dubai. And this is a French base. This is a French base. The French have entered the chat. And people said that Macron already surrendered. I mean, probably. Let's see what else. And this again shows the before imagery of some of those facilities that we saw that got blown up by the Central Intelligence Agency. This is Pakistan, just people that are protesting against the UN. They were trying to set fire to the UN office, and they were attacking U.S. and Israeli military or U.S. Facilities too. But again, the U.S. they got shot, and Iran or the UN. I don't know if they burned it down. Who knows? Who cares? This is another Iranian ship that's been sunk to the bottom of the ocean. This is some weird transhuman, some transformer who's protesting what's going on in Iran. Again, look at the manufactured signs. There's hardly anybody here, guys. Nobody cares anymore. They already don't care, but let's listen. We are 7 minutes from bell opening, by the way. We should check the charts.
Yeah, sure. I think allying with Israel is one of the most fascist and dangerous actions the U.S. could take.
Okay. And what makes that fascist versus allying with Iran?
Because Iran isn't fascist.
Okay.
And you studying political ideologies, you understand what fascism is, and it is not Iran. Because Iran was Ayatollah Khomeini's rule was achieved through a revolution. It was sort of a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Fascism rises electorally and democratically, and then turns on its constituents.
Yes.
Ayatollah Khomeini's regime is not fascist in nature.
So what do you say
it's
to
good to know he's not
that
fascist.
It's fascism because they make women wear a hijab?
I mean, yeah, MU. Let's do that. So we'll move on here. Let's move on to Micron. We'll start talking stocks. We probably should. We got the bell coming anyway. So let's just see. I might have to buy some stuff too. I'm not going to lie. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to have to take a bathroom break, at least a pause. So when I said expensive, just keep it in context, okay? What I'm saying is the prices went up a lot in a short period of time. That's what I'm saying. If you look at this chart over on the right-hand side, I think you would agree that this thing less than a year ago, 10 months ago, was $64.72. And today it is 400 and something. So by price, I'm just saying it's had a parabola. Now the entire industry is still going to keep going up, and it's got a forward PE of 12. So is it expensive? I mean, it went from 60 to 400 and something, which is amazing. But if you actually look at like its valuation, it's dirt cheap. And I think a lot of analyst estimates have not caught up with this. I don't know if I have Earnings Hub up right now. I need to start using that more. I use it on my mobile app all the time. But on Earnings Hub, it shows like analyst ratings. It does that with Hood too. Maybe I'll start using that one more in here. But they show analyst ratings, and they show all of them, and they show you when they put them in and like what their reviews are and all that kind of stuff. And I think they're incredibly low. They haven't readjusted for memory. There's still a massive demand for memory. That's insane. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, the PE at 39 is cheap, but the forward is fucking nuts. And so again, when I say that, it's kind of a joke. They're having to do a lot of build out. They're doing a lot of CapEx, and these memory guys will have to do that. So that will tighten up, I think, margins just from all the spending that they're going to have to do. It will at least tighten up their gains. So you'll see free cash flow and other stuff start to go away a little bit. But I think this thing's still got a long ways to go. Just keep in mind, though, $464 billion company. That's a big company. Let's look at the pre-market and see if it's changed. Not much. It's gotten a little worse, maybe. Tesla's down to almost 3%. Palantir lost a little bit of its gains. It's a little redder than it was earlier in the day. Let me see. Oil is like 72. Oil's only up 70 or 7% now. The dollar gained a little bit of strength, but it's not in a crazy place. We had a great bounce last week, guys, on the S&P. I want to point this out. I actually think we've got a lot of upside still. Look at the bounce. Look at how we've continued going back till October of 2025, continued to grind really mostly above this line, the .618 on this fib extension. This is a good sign. Massive volumes, guys. I can go back years. I'm going back to 2024, 2023 here. Look at the volumes. They jump down here if I go back too far, but look at the volumes over here at this peak. We've got a nice floor underneath of us. It's a really nice floor. So I don't think people are bullish enough when it comes to that at all. Let's look and see if we have gotten any data. I don't think there was anything coming out yet. But yes, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to see more strength in ISM and global manufacturing PMI. I'm hoping to see more strength across all of that. It looks like 8:45 is the first one when the market opens up in about 4 minutes, but that's it. We've got EOS Energy. Oh my God, this play, guys. I'm so glad I fucking got out of this shit fully last week. In 1 week, it has dropped from 1188 down to, like, this is fucking crazy. I'm glad I got out. 54% in a week from its high. 54%. I think I had like, it was in the 20s to 30% loss. I'll take it because these guys, who was ever in this, and I love Jeff, but this play didn't turn out well. That's how it works, though, man. I won't fucking shit on him because of it. He was excited about it. I would love for it to have done well. I actually still think this has got to be a bottom, right? I don't own like any of this, and I don't care. I'd rather add more to SoFi and like pass the Clarity Act. That'll be a good thing. And just neutralizing Iran will be a good thing, too. This is probably a bottom. If somebody was interested in taking a bet, I mean, this would probably be it. This thing's down 72% from its high. And its high wasn't that long ago. What was this? November of 2025. Jeez. That's a painful drop, man. So pour one out for the EOS fans. They have been just utterly screwed. And other things, but again, I mean, a lot of sectors have been screwed, right? Enphase is only down 1.5% today, though, which is good. DFDV, that Solana play, is not even down 1%. Metaplanet, I don't know how we're doing this morning on Metaplanet. Last night, we were up 0.5% in Japan. CleanSpark is down 3.82. Cypher's down 4. AI is getting hit. Iran's down 5, so those are getting hit. I lightened the load last week with some of that, and I bought other stuff, which is good. I bought other stuff like SoFi and Hood that have dropped a lot. I think those are great plays. We can look at those in a second. ONDS only up 4.7. Red Cat up 8.67%, so that's doing good. Palantir up 3. BMNR only down 0.5%. Enphase only down 1.54. A lot of my portfolio is doing all right, actually. TLT is down today because of war fears, so it lost almost 1%. That sucks, so I lost a little bit of my hedge. That is not a good hedge for war, not over the short term. D-Local is down 3%. I've been adding to that position slowly. But yeah, all in all, guys, MSTR is only down 0.5%. Bitcoin and crypto are looking pretty strong today. Tesla not doing great, but I love Tesla. Tesla's just to add a little bit. Tesla can go down to 350. I might take a break here for a second, guys, too, and maybe switch to CNBC and take a bathroom break if we're going to stick around for a little bit longer, which I'm going to try to. I'm also moving slow as shit because my back hurts. But I did want to point this out. Just this massive gap going down to like the 360 range. And again, if you go into a shorter time frame here, like the last couple years, you'll see that gap, I mean, you could go down to 350. So I would just caution people. I've got like over $250,000 or something, probably more than that, maybe 300,000 on Tesla. But I'm slowly adding more. I don't have any options. I'm not worried about that. We just opened. So I'm excited about that. We'll see where some of these, it's starting to creep up. I think we're going to creep up into the day. ARGC is down 3.5%. Red Cat's up almost 10 for a second there. Palantir, a little less than 3. I don't know. Things are moving around. I might pull up Jim Cramer here, and I just need to make sure it's working. It is.
Well, the response in the early going is to sell off.
I'm going to let you guys listen to this just for a second here while I go run to the bathroom super fast. Just give me, this is like a little, for us to do this next part where we talk about charting, you guys just got to give me a break. 1 second here.
You're down about 600.
That video? I don't know if I have it, but I'll check. I don't know if I have it. Let me see if I can get it though.
Brian Kemp, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens doing the honors. At the NASDAQ, it's Axogen, a medical technology company focused on nerve repair. I mean, we will be asking questions, Jim, about international tourism.
Yeah, I can't find it. So I'll leave you guys with this just for a second, okay? Be right back.
They're talking about how things weren't that good, but going into it, David, when I look at what's happened with the oil, with the infrastructure of oil, everyone's panicking and buying. Again, when you have panic buy of oil, it has historically not been great. It's not been a good investment.
It's not been a time to,
It's been bad. I don't think this is different. By the way, natural gas, it doesn't really impact us because we have a huge amount of natural gas. And I'm glad to see that even though there's cold weather in the Northeast, the natural gas has a spike because natural gas is very important.
Henry Hub is one thing. It's not the same story in Europe.
No, and they could have locked in. I mean, I think Europe is so suicidal. I cannot believe it. They let the Chinese in. They didn't take the long contracts for us. One of the great stories, sadly, is that they don't seem to have any survival instincts when it comes to the great powers.
We do know that Qatar Energy is stopping LNG. That's about 20% right there. We'll watch the Straits of Hormuz. We had Maersk halt some shipments. We had Hapag-Lloyd introduce what they're calling the war risk surcharge.
Yeah, these things, again, I mean, the impact that you have to think about is inflation. Carl, on Friday, you talked to me about a number of inputs that were going higher. But the one thing that I was confident about was that oil would be able to come down.
And then I said, what about Iran? We said that on Friday.
Was great. That was the inquiry. And David, you know that a lot of these things that you talk about when it comes to credit, we didn't even talk about the idea that rates won't come down the way we thought, given the fact that it would be very hard for a Federal Reserve to cut rates in this environment.
True. I mean, we did see what we thought was a bit of a flight to safety late last week, right, where the 10-year did fall briefly below that 4% mark. Now, as you see, a bit above it. which was interesting to note.
Right.
But again, we're going to keep coming back to credit for obvious reasons, and both Jim and Carl mentioned, of course, the performance of the banks on Friday. The follow-through has continued to be negative. We are looking forward to hearing Leslie Picker's interview with Chairman and CEO of J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, a little later in our programming day here at CNBC. But J.P. Morgan's down another 2%. Bank of America down 2%. Citi down 3%. And then, of course, moving on, I haven't even looked, so let me just take a look here. Yeah, I mean, continued weakness, not that much, but in the alternative asset managers.
All right, so we're getting to bounce.
Blackstone,
Let me see. I might have to do some
Apollo,
purchases.
KKR, Blue Owl, or Ares, for example, all of which are down anywhere from the high 20s to low 30% for the year.
Let me ask you, do you think
a downgrade this morning, guys, as you noted, by Barclays of Blue Owl.
Right.
And they're pointing to what a lot of others have been talking about as well, which is just the concern around business development corporations and their ability to either garner new funds or, even more importantly,
there's not much to buy.
What the outflows look like.
Might get a little more.
Inflows started slow. February, which, by the way, we're not even talking about AI-related headlines, meaning the worries about software they point out down again, and redemption requests.
It's only down 2%, though, which is very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. All right, I'll keep watching that and see what's going on that front. But yeah, let's do a look here. I'll see if I can find Tom Lee. I don't know. Let me see if I can find that. CNBC. I can't remember if I still have their membership or if I got rid of it because I realized I could play. I'll see. I might still have it. 1 second here. Gotta get past my security stuff. All right, here we go. Let's try this. 1 second while I pull this up. All right, so I do have a video section. Maybe I do have it. Let me see. Do I still have this service? I still have it, I think. All right. I guess I still have this. Whatever. That's cool. All right. Let me see. Hopefully it comes up. Oh, or is it doing some blackout shit? Oh, no. There we go. Okay. Tom Lee. There we go. Let's watch it. Thanks for having me look at this. I didn't realize I was still paying for it. I wasn't going to play it because I didn't think I had it. Here we go. Let's watch Tom Lee.
Companies everywhere bought into AI.
Oh, no. I got to.
Problem is, nothing works together.
It looks like I have to do a commercial. I might have to re-sign up for the service. Okay. Sorry about that. Just 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. Then we watch Tom Lee. I was going to say, I did think I canceled it, so let me see. 9 more seconds. We're getting close. We'll have to check market and see how we're doing here. All right, there we go.
Global Advisors head of research and a CNBC contributor.
DFDV is up 2.5%. Metaplanet.
Straits of Hormuz, maybe.
Holy shit, Red Cat's up 24, guys.
In past incidents like this, and every single time it's happened,
Ondis is up 14.
We've always said, well, in past incidents, it yes. Never lasts that long, and decisions that are made about whether staying in or getting out of a market.
25% of my Red Cat,
standing
guys.
pat has been the right move.
That's right. I mean, nobody likes to see headlines and the images of explosions and war.
Almost 15% on ONDS.
And so we know risk premium jumps. That's why
I'll put it in the bottom
jumps.
right corner.
But it's not really going to change the fundamentals of the U.S. So in the past, markets kind of sell off into the buildup, and then they tend to do better once the battle begins. And I think this is going to be similar.
We got to watch across the board, obviously, gold and the yield
Love it.
curve.
1.7 billion. Such a small cap.
But and oil, obviously oil, but it won't affect us in the economy at this point. But I guess there's a scenario. Where
I'm glad I was buying some defense stocks, guys.
Where down the road it could, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of experts are going to worry that this could, encompass a larger conflict. Something that would be, World War III or something.
Right.
But in the absence of that, I think the worst of the sell-off is going to happen this week. And, I would expect actually March to be an up month for the stock market.
What about the price of oil, which has been such a huge benefit, lower prices of oil
Microstrategy's up 2.5%,
to the economy,
guys.
to the consumer.
I realize that
NVIDIA's up 1.2.
Are self-sufficient, but a lot of other
Hood
countries
is up
aren't. If you look at China, if you look at India,
Palantir's 5.
Japan, is there a point that it gets more expensive, and if it gets more expensive for China, that is then exported to the rest of the world?
Yeah, I mean, oil's going to create a price shock because oil, it ends up so much in the economic supply chain.
Even what we produce here is going for 72.
But it can be very limited.
So it doesn't matter with it.
Very limited.
We got plenty of it, but oil companies are obviously going to reap some benefits. But consumers, this will filter through in a time when we're still inflation phobic, I think.
That's right. In the past, oil shocks are actually more at risk of maybe tipping a weak economy into recession.
And that's not where we are.
Yeah, and so I think instead of thinking the Fed would be hawkish, I think the Fed might be dovish on a spike in oil.
This market is not doing things that you didn't think it might do at the beginning of the year. And it had nothing to do with what the developments of the past week. I mean, block. That makes people think AI is... Maybe we're underestimating, unless this is the same guy that had 3 times as many at Dorsey, 3 times as many employees at Twitter as was necessary to run that outfit. So I don't know whether you paint a broad stroke about AI with what happened there, or whether this is a one-off. I tend to think we better get used to this, no?
Yeah, I mean, I know many companies that are rolling out AI workers. Even at Fundstrat, we are deploying these agents and, treating them as if they're employees. But I think we're still unsure whether or not this will ultimately create more jobs or not.
And AI is killing will kill a lot of companies. And AI itself, the killer is, you could say, had such a run that it is at least richly valued.
Yeah, and at least in the case of the software stocks broadly, the entire complex kind of has fallen back to where they were last April. To me, that's clearly an overreaction. So I think it makes sense that you'd start to see some of the groups that got hit hard mean revert,
what a day,
including
guys.
the Mag 7.
So
I got to post. I got to say something real quick here before I let Tom finish. RCAT up 21%, AVAV, another defense sector stock, 15.5%, ONDS 12%, Kratos 7.4%. Good day for those. I bought Zscaler, the software company, over the weekend. I think I'm up about 4% on that position right now, 4.5%. So lots of stuff performing well today, guys. Lots of stuff. This is looking pretty decent to start off the day. Just looking at some of these. Different categories, the numbers are up a lot. So good stuff. It's going to be a decent week, I think. Isn't that funny? We get resolve and everybody's happy. Circles ripping? Really? How much?
Actually, someone else made that point that maybe the leaders in
we got data coming out in AI, 3 minutes.
Maybe they stay where they are and stabilize, but maybe you get a rebound from some of the oversold.
Oil's only up 6.5.
Yeah.
So you think we're getting to the point now where the initial weakness you saw in the markets, we're
Copper's down
making
1.5.
the bottom at some point? What do you say will be up for March?
Gold is falling.
I think March is going to likely be an up month. I know it doesn't feel like that because of the way the end of February felt. But
comes in like a bear, goes out like a bull.
Yeah, it probably comes in with the better weather. But the things like software, the Mag 7, and the crypto all had early weakness. They're all probably in the final stages or have already bottomed. And I think that helps lead us up to an up April.
Have you woken up in the middle of the night and looked at where Ethereum is and said, I
wonder where Kraken is. I don't see that open.
No. You're not worried yet?
No, because, Ethereum, there's the fundamentals, like what's happening. So much is being built on Ethereum
Microstrategy's up 3.5%.
Almost every major announcement of a tokenized
Clean
fund
Spark's
is
up a half.
Does that translate to supply and demand dynamics that make the price go up, though? Or can you just keep building out all these networks at 1,900?
I mean, that would be like
3.5.
someone saying
Enphase
all
is
this
up
activity is
almost 3.
happening in the United States, but the economy shouldn't boom,
Yeah.
So if it's all taking place on Ethereum,
7.5,
then price follows. But we are in a crypto winter, so price doesn't matter.
TIER?
Capital is
I don't know which one that
looking
is.
at
TER?
gold and silver and
Can you tell me
ways
something
of hard assets. But that isn't always going to be the case.
I'd read you buying more Ethereum on the dip. How much more, and does that continue today?
Yes. So Bitmain's been buying about $50,000 or about $100 million of Ethereum every week, but the cash balance has grown to over 800 million. So it's able to, at the right moment, make a major buy of Ethereum. So I think we're getting ready for the crypto bottom. But we're still buying about 100 million a week.
All right.
100 million a week.
You know JAAA.
All right, let's go back here. Kill that. Go back here. Go back to videos. I don't know if there's anything else we want to listen to on here. Oil is dropping. It's only up 6%, guys, and it's dropping. Look at this. If you look over here, like, it's not a good look. This is just nothing. This is nothing. This is not special in any way. It's just, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't even come up. This is not special in any way. This is just, it doesn't really mean anything. It's a waste. People are, like, if you had that as a hedge, man, I'd take your fucking profits and run. Honestly, I want to look here real quick at SoFi and Hood. If you guys have other charts you want to look at, throw them up. If you guys have concerns I haven't covered, throw them up. This was pre-market, so you can see how red everything was. We'll switch it to daily. It should be updating now. So again, you can see a lot of stuff is already turning green. We're starting to flip up, starting to get a little happier. Let me see here if I got some SoFi. Yeah, let me grab that one. Take a look. Look at some of these charts. If you guys have a chart you want to look at, throw it up. Had to sell Fridays, RCAT 15s. Couldn't resist the premium. Yeah. It's up a decent amount. Let's just look here. So again, we already on a SoFi, guys. This is such a good bottom. Like, just look at this. We went down to here, down to this level over here. If we go out to a shorter time frame, you'll see we had a nice shelf of support underneath of us. This is going back like a couple years, but again, we started to hit this area. You can see previous resistance. This is a great place to bounce. It's just right underneath the .618, so you overshot it. If markets start to turn around this week, which I think they definitely can, even today, and we get back above the .618, that's where it's going to get nice. And I do need to move this around, though, because is that at the right level? Let me see. I think that's right. I don't know where we're drawing. Yeah, no, I think that's right. I just need to lock it in. Let me see here. Do this. Lock. Don't want you slipping. All right, but yeah, so all we got to do is get back up here. If we can get above the .618 in the 1780 range, then it's a great ride. I mean, look at this. Look at how much we have just to get back to all-time highs. That's not even like if this company does a great job and continues to have gains. We're talking 85% higher than where we are right now. So I think that's a pretty good price point. And again, being down 47% on SoFi is wonderful considering how cheap it is. Oh, we do have data. Let me get to it. It's got our boy here. Let me see. 1 second. We'll go back.
And Fine's comments are additionally interesting, having been on a bit of a tour for his...
Which was the January...
Let's go back just a hair. Let me go back to... There we go.
Manufacturing PMI raises up 0.4 from its original release at 51.2, 51.6. How does that comp? Well, that comps to 52.4, which was the January read. So it's still above 50, and that is a good thing.
We'll look
the
at that
last
stuff
time we were below 50 was December of last year. And we see all the interest rates are elevated, and many have pointed towards past episodes of geopolitical issues being a flight to safety going into treasuries. This one, of course, seems to be paying more attention to the cost of things like oil and potentially the cost of war. But ultimately, the moves in treasuries were up about 8 basis points in a 10-year. But do remember, the 10-year closed at the lowest yield since October of 24 on Friday.
Yep,
so there is some of this kind of bounce energy involved, but we are above 4%. And if we look at 2-year note yields, they're also up. Fairly equal shift on the yield curve. Short maturities and long maturities are all up about equal amounts. Squawk on the Street will return after a short break.
All right, so these are good data points. I'm just going to leave that there. I wish I could pause. You know what? Oh, yeah, I can. I'll just do this. I'll leave it running. All right, so that looks wonderful. Let's look at the actual data too ourselves. So 51.6. The previous was 52.4. This one's not as exciting because we've kind of been in this range. If anything, this looks like it's been declining since like August, but it's a good number. We'll see what comes up for the next data points, though. Those are going to be the big ones. At 9 o'clock here in about 11 minutes, 12 minutes, these will be the ones that we want to see a nice pop on, or at least maintain. These are the ones where you saw the big shift, right? So if we look over here, this is where it got interesting. This is where we went from nothing since August of 2022 to popping back up into higher levels. So we'll see where we are in 11 minutes. That's going to be the fun stuff. Let's see. Anything else here? More hot Iranian women dancing. People getting shot. What else we got? Just a bunch of shit. This is them attacking the consulate in Pakistan. This is before they ended up getting shot. MBS has authorized the military to strike back if Iran continues. Yep, that's good stuff. Had to sell Fridays. BTC. BTC's looking all right. Almost 67. It looks pretty good, man. This is them, the Iranians shooting down their own ship, own tanker ship. Oh, there's another one I wanted to get to in here. I'm going to try and find it. Another chart. 1 second. There's a lot of stuff in here, guys. It's another chart that I just want you to see. Which one is this? Solar. Yeah, whatever. That's a good chart, but it's not the primary focus of what I want to show you guys. This is interesting. Server market share by compute. I put traditional computing is dying. Look at this. I didn't realize how much traditional has dropped as a percentage of market share, of server market share, but accelerated GPUs are almost all of it. And then accelerated ASICs. It's like the whole industry is dying. We're like right here. It's just wild. Again, just tons of people celebrating, saying that they don't want Mamdani's input. They just want him to do his fucking job. Oh, I don't know where it is. Crap. Sometimes the bookmarks don't come over all the way. Let me see if I can find it in another way. Sometimes I highlight. Let's see here. Nah, I don't see it. Damn it. If I find that one, I'll let you guys know. Got about 10 minutes. What other charts do we want to look at? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's look at Enphase. I want to look at that one. I want to look at ARCG. I want to look at TLT. I want to look at all of them. So again, Enphase, I said it could take a while. We're bouncing really good on this one. So you can see where we dropped last week and down to the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame. But now we're bouncing really good, trying to get above. I don't think it's going to take more than maybe a month or two before we break out from this and test up towards the 61 range. So still a great stock, still incredibly cheap. I'd have to bring these down, but let me see. What is this top one? I'll try and mark this one. So this top one, if we go from where it is right now, there is 677% upside to get to the previous all-time high. I think that's a pretty good number. BMNR is up almost 5% on the day. Let's check it out. BMNR right over here, consolidating very tightly. Again, it broke down underneath of its support zone, and now it's breaking up. I could change this to the daily to make it a little more clear. But it's got a long way to get to its previous high, and there's a lot of dilution. These guys have no debt. Isn't that crazy? No debt. And it's 757% to get to its previous all-time high. So I'm liking a lot of these numbers that I'm seeing right now. Let's see here. TLT is getting hit today, but again, it's had a good run, and it will do well if the war doesn't dredge on. And I just want to point this out. Like, look at this. This is the monthly time frame. That was one of the strongest monthly candles we've seen in a while on this thing. So I do think there's a lot of cohesion here between us breaking out like sometime by the middle of this year and TLT at the very latest, and trying to test towards that $100, $110 range. That would actually be the perfect time for it. But that's interesting. ARCG getting hit today, but I do like the consolidation. I hope that it can turn around and we get a more risk-on market here soon. But I love the consolidation above the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame. You'll never see me get upset about this. Although I do have some contracts, I think that expire in like September or something for some shorter ones. I don't know. I'd have to look. Maybe it's just January. I get confused between TLT sometimes. let's look here. Let's look over at like maybe Hood or something. Hood up to no good. And again, some of these military stocks, I'll show you what they look like too. They're really nice. I got them in the bottom corner right now. But again, we kind of had Hood had that same kind of overshoot at the .618. It's lost a decent amount of gains from where it was. It was down 50. What was it down? It was down almost 55%. So this is a good range to purchase. I think if people are expecting lesser numbers, I don't know. They had a great quarter. They might have missed a little bit because of some anomalies, but that's the way this market is, especially for like a trading platform / turning into a bank investment platform and everything else. You do Tesla yet? I can show it to you real quick. But yeah, no, I'm liking Hood and SoFi look very similar as far as technical setup. And I think they're both positioned well. Tesla, I said this before, but we could still drop. We don't have to. We could test this 370 range. We could test this 350 range. It gets a lot better at 350. It gets a lot better at 350. You start to hit some peaks and volumes right around that level you can see over here. I don't see it getting any lower than that. We don't even have to really stay down here for long. We could end up going up, but I just think you just have to remember this is a $1.5 trillion market cap, and the PE is still very expensive on Tesla. So that's the area of caution that I would focus on with Tesla, is that I love the company. It's going to absolutely crush it in the years ahead. But over the short term, it might not be the best bet because I don't know if somebody wants to pay a 368 PE ratio or a forward of 172. I mean, even Palantir looks better than this, right? So, and there's so many good companies. Like, I'll show you SoFi and Hood, but there's so many good companies. Like Micron. Micron has a forward in like the 12s, dude. It's going to be building out memory for years. The PE ratio for Palantir is 226, and yet we're in the 330s for Tesla. So I would just argue that over the short term, Tesla could take more of a hit than some of these others. Let's look at like Hood and SoFi though. Let's look at SoFi. Again, I think these are good stocks. And Bitcoin continuing to consolidate around 67. Got about 4 minutes until that other data. Forward PE 47.17. PE 46.23. So this is a little high, but it honestly was way higher than this. And it is a really good growth company. If you look here, it's doing all the right stuff. Its debt went down while its cash has went up. They're growing all kinds of their business. I think they're going to benefit from real estate here too soon. So I like adding here. I think it's a good stock, and I think before you know it, you'll see the PE dropping out of the 40s into the 30s and into the 20s. Only it'll be going up and growing at the same time. Hood is even better though. It's an even lower valuation. Let me look here. Hood 36.93, but the forward got screwed up because of their last earnings. That's at 71. So currently the PE is good, but it looks weaker because of its last quarter. But again, I still think both of these are great buys. I think they're way cheaper than Tesla. About to order a Cybertruck and trade in the Y Performance. That's a great, you're going to love it, dude. Again, some people are dicks about the way it looks and hate it because they're liberal. But I love it. I think it's a really great vehicle. Kraken's joining the party, up 2.41% or 51% today. But let's just look over here, guys. I'll pull over RCAT. RCAT's up almost 30% today. It's up 26% today. Looking good. We have ONDS, again, another defense contractor. What are we sitting at? Up 20% today almost. Starting to hit resistance. We could slow down here. But again, you can see defense is not a bad sector today. It's holding on really good. I don't know if I want to sell any yet. I don't know. It's going to be tough. These are really cheap valuations. ONDS is $1.7 billion. RCAT is $1.75 billion, up 27%. These are just such cheap valuations. There's nothing above us right now on RCAT. Maybe, at 17, it's a little pricier, but this is still really just cheap in my opinion. But again, defense sector stuff looking really good today, guys. Really, really good. Kind of loving it. Let's see. We'll get over here for the next data point. I'm probably going to bail after 9, guys. I'm going to get tired after that. So, but I think today is a good day. I think today's a good day. I wouldn't worry about it. I think defense is doing well. It's treating us good. And I think other things are doing all right. CleanSpark down 0.1, or actually flat right now. Cypher down 2.37. Iron down 2%. MicroStrategy up 2.83. So again, we're kind of meandering, but market overall seems to be bouncing. We'll keep an eye out here for what's coming next. Let me look over here and see if CNBC is live yet. So we'll check this next data point. Bitcoin creeping above 67 right now. If you look over in the side view mirror, 67,100 almost. So looking good. All right, let's take a look here. What do we got? So I don't think done a little bit of buying today. I'll try and post that in a second. I don't think I'll be selling anything. We'll see. Jesse, GEV continues to be solid energy position. Thoughts? I don't know it. Which one is GEV? Is that the spinoff of GE? Let me know what it is. You guys will have to, I don't know all the tickers, so if we don't talk about it commonly on here, you'll have to just help me out a little bit. All right, we're almost done with this. Now I think we'll get back to the good stuff. Hopefully. More commercials. All right, well, we still have, I guess we have 30 seconds. We'll wait for this next data point. Still commercials. But one of their commercials, so I think it's okay. All right. Here we go. Last data point, guys. This is the big stuff for the day. Here we go.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla and David Faber. We are live at Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Stocks are under pressure as the markets react to the U.S. and Israeli strike on Iran over the weekend. The S&P 500 down 0.5%. One bright spot in this market is energy because oil prices are surging. Most everything else is lower, although information technology is holding up well. You've got some strength in names like Palantir, no surprise, up 5%, sort of a defense tech play. NVIDIA is higher, though, as well, and so are some of the other semiconductors. But consumer discretionary, that's what's weak, down 2%. Communication services and financials, all the cyclical groups. Treasuries
Silver's
also
down
making a move.
4.3%.
They're buying the safe haven U.S. dollar, but selling treasuries potentially on this inflation trade, right?
Down
with higher oil prices,
overall.
higher inflation, the 10-year yield goes back above 4%. We've got full coverage of the war in Iran, the impact on global markets. Great lineup of experts coming for you. Ian Bremmer from the Eurasia Group, former Defense Secretary Mark Esper, former Israel Ambassador to the U.S. Michael Oren. We're going to get through all the key details that investors are looking for.
First up, though, busy day for some manufacturing surveys. Let's get back to Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
Here we go. Here we go. Rick Santelli.
These are the ISM PMIs, and these are fresh February reads. On the headline, manufacturing expecting 51.5. In the rearview mirror, 52.6. We come in at 52.4.
Nice.
And if we look at prices paid, we'd rather have these go down, but zoom, 70.5. Well ahead of the 60-ish. We're looking for 59 in the rearview mirror. 70.5 would be the warmest since June of 22. And if we look at new orders, 55.8, better than expectations, but lacking in terms of sequential. 57.1 in the rearview mirror. 55.8 would be the weakest since Dece of last year when we were sub 50 at 47.4. And if we look at employment on a week where it's very key, we get the big jobs report this week. Well, 48.3 expected, 48.8 better than expected, and 48.1 in the rearview mirror. So it's better than expected.
All right, that's good enough for me. I don't need to hear anymore. So let's look over here. So ISM PMI, previous was 52.6. We got a 52.4. It's pretty much the same. Again, we had a parabolic increase last time. So this is maintaining that level. We want to see that. Employment was 48.8. Previous was 48.1. Again, this was a big tick up from what we saw before. Let's just look into here real quick. So we're sitting over here perfectly, a little bit higher than last time at 48.8. That's a beautiful place to be. Best read since January of 2025. So we're seeing increasing in employment. Increasing in the broader PMI number, new orders. Let's just look at what that was. So slightly lower than before. But again, if we go out even just 5 years, you can see how this is so much better than what we had before. So this is a good number. Really, the only bad thing was the prices. The prices was a huge increase. Let's go out 10 years here. That is the highest level. Let's see, 70.5. I mean, I guess we were seeing this all of June, May, April, March. So March through June of last year. So this is high. This is high, but we'll see if it can maintain that. But really, though, if we're looking out through this entirety of this time frame, it's not crazy in any way. And I still believe Truflation's 0.79. Again, PPI was a bullshit number. I don't think there's anything to worry about there. I think all in all, these data reads are pretty good. Bitcoin, 62,224. So again, ticking up a little bit more. Oil got a little bit of life in it. It's up 0.6 right now. But I like this, guys. I like seeing the metal trade breaking down. So this is good. This is good. This is what you want to see. They did have a nice little monthly close up here, but I want to see this continued weakness. We're definitely reaching a point where if you look at this in the weekly time frame, the top is probably in on January of 2026, a month ago, 5 weeks ago. This looks like a climax. It really does, in my opinion. It could change, though. We could get renewed strength. Copper down 1.73% today. Gold, again, you can start to see it weakening over here. Even just today, it's down under 1%, 0.88%. So again, it needs to maintain above this break. Strong shelf, though, down at 5,200. So that could be a base, or if worries disappear greatly and the economy is still looking good here, and people are less worried about us inflating our economy away, then you'll see the metals trade start to dwindle off. I think China's going to keep feeding it, but I think maybe it just stays sideways, maybe a little bit up, but it's rolling over in the future. DFDV still up 5%. Let's just look through some of these others again, see where we're at before we head off. Bitcoin, 67,350 now, guys. Starting to climb even more. Bitmine up 5.37%. Don't hate it. Enphase up 5.32, hitting this next fib level. It could take a breather here, but beautiful to see. TLT down 1.28%. I hate seeing my baby hedge go away, but that's okay. I think that's fine for now. And ARGC still, again, finding support where it needs to. I would like it to go up like a rocket ship. It started doing really good in October. Wish I would have taken so many sales in October for ARGC, for the miners, but hindsight is 2020. We have a lot less exposure to that kind of risk now. Hood up 0.2%. Like to see it green on the day. Tesla down 1.67. Again, it's going to be a weaker one. It's a big cap. I think that's just the way things work with really big caps. Nvidia too up 1.69. Again, huge cap, hasn't really went anywhere. ONDS still up almost 20%. Gold, again, just barely hanging on. Let's go into here. What else we got? Silver, not doing so great. And Red Cat, almost 30% on the day. That's crazy. Metaplanet's up 3.5% on the day. Kraken's up 1.8% now. Palantir's up 4.5%. Zeta is actually flat on the day now, which is great. First Solar is 1.14%. Let's see here. CleanSpark is up almost 3% on the day. Cypher is now flat. Iron is down 0.7%. Microstrategy is up almost 4%. Yeah, guys, I think today's a good day. I'm excited about it. I think today's going to be a good turnaround day. We're almost up to 67.4 now, guys. Did you ever buy that mansion house? No, I'm glad I didn't. I decided not to. Instead, I took that money and I invested it. And it's done a lot better than that house would have done. I'm probably up 100,000 or more with that same money, even though it's taken a little bit of a retracement here recently. So instead of buying that multi-million-dollar house, actually a little over, it was a starter level millionaire house. Instead of buying that, I've made over $100,000 on my money, probably 150 with today. So much better decision. I'm glad I took it. Yeah, but this is all looking great. I think we're going to break 30% on Red Cat, guys, or at least touch up here, maybe to the 16 range, the way things are going. So pretty exciting day today. I hope you guys have a good day. 67,550 now, guys, on Bitcoin and climbing. I think it's going to be a good day, guys. I've been saying this for a while. I don't think you should fret about Bitcoin. We'll probably end on this. again, I think we know that America is winning. I hope you understand that. Hopefully, if you're here, you understand that. And Bitcoin already dropped 52%. Now we're perfectly, if you look right here, guys, we're perfectly, that green line right there, let me just zoom in so you guys can see that. We're perfectly above peak volumes going back the last couple years. That's amazing. And this is where you want to be. This is it. This is where you want to be. This is a beautiful chart. I talked about the symmetry on it, how gorgeous it was. If you look at the 3-day, you really get a vibe on it. Like this is great. This is such a bottoming pattern. Such a bottoming pattern. So you should be happy about it. Not sad. Be happy. This is what you wanted. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great start to your week. And I bid you adieu. And I hope you just remember this. Be optimistic about markets because those are the people that make the most money. Be optimistic about America because Warren Buffett would never bet against it. And just remember that narratives exist, but they're temporary, and the truth is what needs to be found, and what you should have in front of you, hopefully in the not-too-distant future, is the truth. And I believe the truth is the American economy is great. We are crushing it in these pseudo-wars that we have that are lasting very small amounts of time and taking very little in the way of U.S. forces. Bitcoin at 67.8 while I'm talking about this. So just remember that we're great. Remember that we're great. Remember that you can be proud of it. Remember that we can have opinions now that might differ from other people's opinions. We just need to make sure they're thoughtful and that we really focus now on where we are with investments going forward and getting the right ones. We're really good on the macro now. I think you guys probably realize that I've been really right about the macro. And I think there's really great companies in front of us that are going to do really well. We need to benefit from that, and we need to be a part of that. So don't run away scared. Just find the good companies and have a longer time horizon. Don't be short-sighted. Don't be 100% in risk and then have some weird shit happening in the next couple of months. If you can't tell, we're in a point of ever-increasing timeline where things are going to happen faster and faster and faster. And options are dangerous unless you're very calculated. They hold danger, and you don't want to wipe yourself out. I still have some, and I think I got a great hedge, and then I think IRGC can still really treat me well. But the last year, they did not treat me well, and so that's just another good example of have the longest possible time frames you can. Focus on getting it right at the macro level, but if you're not figuring out which companies you should own for the longer term, not short-sighted like I was the end of last year, where I was like, oh, it doesn't matter because Bitcoin's going up. So I don't need to care about what's happening with metals. I don't need to care about what's happening with Palantir and these other companies that were doing well that I had jumped out of, SoFi, Hood. I'm glad I should have, I don't know, 150,000 or something, and probably between Hood and SoFi before the day's over. So sitting in a better position now on those, ignored brilliant companies. I was so right about so many companies. Most of the companies I've been really, really right about, but I wasn't allocated the correct way to be resilient. And that's just such bad planning on my part. And I hope we can all, 68,000 now, guys, on Bitcoin. I hope we can all appreciate today and love your country, love your neighbors, push for freedom. Push for security and safety for your family members. It's okay to want all these things. Push for truth and data. And let's get rid of all these pieces of shit that have been running our government and run the world for a very long time. And let's turn it into something beautiful because that's what's coming. That's the future I believe in. And I'd rather be an optimist and be wrong than be a pessimist and watch the world burn. And I will always be that way. Peace out. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you online, okay? Take it easy. Bye.